Throughout the historic district, they have 48 buildings right now. They restore them like they did these buildings, and they use them as their classrooms, are used as their dormitories. They put them there because the people off their horses in and out of their carriages, so they had a stepping stone. Now that house was a private home. Society of the Cincinnati. All right. Now, if you don't remember, nobody's going to hear about it. They might be mad. So you got to remember yourself. Now, we are going to circle the square. The fence I was talking about is right there. We'll come back and talk about it a little bit more. Now, this is Chippewa Square. That is a battle. In the center of this was because he was a military figure. Now, all of our military monuments in Savannah face their enemy. He is facing south because the enemy... Everybody see the bench? It's not there. It's in the Visitor Center Museum. If you want to go in there. Now, I always tell people it's sad that we had to put the bench in there so it wouldn't be vandalized in the square. They all look just alike, so all of them are Forrest Gump's bench. Just come out to this square and get your picture taken. It does not look like it's open today, so it's fortunate you didn't get out. When it's open right here on the corner of this fence, they have a sign that says Tours. Now that house was the house that Sherman used as his headquarters when he occupied Savannah. The church right next door owns the Green Meldrum House today. It is the parish house, and it's not. I used it as his headquarters. He needed to place his only military monument in the United States that is of a non-commissioned officer. E. Shaver Bookseller to your right. Wonderful little bookstore. Have a lot of history books on Savannah. Very, very nice bookstore. To your left, the mayor of the city and several other wealthy in Lincoln at the time wrote him a letter at the request. My sister's home. That's a mirror image. It's two houses. The one on the left is just like the one on the right in reverse. It was built by a minister for his twin daughters. He built it in hopes that they would get married, and soon after it was completed, they had married some young gentlemen from Charleston, South Carolina. They happened to be twin brothers. Right here to the right, the Mall Bottom and Tan Top home. Now, all of you gentlemen, look at that house, because you've all seen it, whether you recognize it or not. Because we all watch those home improvement shows. It's the only Gothic-style synagogue in the world. It's also in the shape of a cross, the top roof line. Third oldest congregation here in the United States, the Congregation of the Israel. Our monument in the center of this square is gone. It's out for restoration work, and it's been gone for almost 2 years now. If you saw the movie, did anybody see the movie, Midnight, instead of the book? Did you see the monument in the movie? It was of the man riding the horse, Count Casimir Pulaski, the highest-ranking foreign officer to lose his life in the American Revolution. He did lose it here. That was a styrofoam monument, one of the largest houses in Savannah. Beautiful inside months. He left the colony, went back.
Got him. Hey, Kathy. Looks like Uncle Joe's boat.
Where do you want this one? Just up to that thing right there? No, no. Oh, the boat? Right there. Tie it to that one right there.
See all their shirts here, they have their Harbor Town logo on it.
Do they? Dave, you'll appreciate this shot. Look familiar? We're up on top of the tower, looking into the bay. That's the dinghy that Jake, Luke, and Sam are going to be using as they get older. Atlantic Ocean, above the tower. Beautiful scene, breathtaking. Can't get over the beautiful hole like this.
NBC's chief financial correspondent, Mike Jensen, is at the Wall Street with more on this. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, and some analysts are saying that this might be the beginning of a bear market.
Waves of selling all day sent the Dow Jones average plunging almost 300 points. Ralph Acampora of Prudential Securities predicted that the Dow is likely to fall 15 or 20% from its recent highs. That would take it all the way down to 7,500.
The secondary stocks are already in a bear market, and my call this morning is that the blue chips will also go into a bear market.
Standard & Poor's said there's one chance in 4 that the whole U.S. economy could be dragged down.
And to put the U.S. into a mild recession in 1999.
Asia problems already are wiping out the profits of American companies that sell products there. And the Asian crisis is costing American jobs, more than 30,000 so far this year, plus pay cuts and temporary layoffs. After 3 years of 20 to 30% gains in stock prices, a lot of investors thought the good times would keep rolling.
But now with problems in Asia, investors and analysts are having second thoughts, and that's what sent the stock market reeling. And
NBC's Mike Jensen, thank you for your report this morning. Well, a reminder that CNBC's Ron Insani will have more on the markets in just a few moments. Now to the investigation of the president. NBC News has learned that the FBI has completed one round of tests on that dress Monica Lewinsky gave to Ken Starr and has sent it to a second lab to double-check the results. Prosecutors want to know if the dress contains physical evidence of a sexual relationship between Lewinsky and the president. Today, the president will head to Capitol Hill to meet with congressional Democrats, officially to talk about their legislative agenda. But the investigation is on everyone's mind. Here's NBC's Gwen Eiffel.
Even on Capitol Hill, all eyes are trained on the goings and comings at the federal courthouse, as Democrats who have staunchly defended their embattled president for months now become visibly nervous.
You have to be totally honest. People are nervous about the situation, mostly because they're nervous of the unknown.
In public, Democrats put on the best face possible.
We are his friends, and we're going to stand by him to the end. Thank you. No matter what.
But Democratic members of the House Judiciary Committee have been meeting privately for weeks, hiring staff and attorneys, and preparing for the possibility of a Capitol Hill impeachment showdown, sooner rather than later. One change in approach, members of Congress no longer defend the president's truthfulness. Instead, they argue against impeachment.
We're not talking about things, in my judgment, that rise to the level of impeachment. We are talking about the kinds of things that you would take into account if you decided to vote for someone or not.
While Republicans, sensing new opportunities as the Clinton investigation approaches its end, have begun comparing Whitewater to Watergate.
The impeachment of Richard Nixon was one of Congress's finest hours. I think all of us, Republicans and Democrats, all Americans, should work to make this process work the same way that it did in 1973 and 74.
The president comes to Capitol Hill today to meet privately with House Democrats. On the agenda, health care, Social Security, taxes. Not on the agenda, but on everybody's mind, the president's future. Gwen Eiffel, NBC News, the Capitol.
The fever has broken in Texas. A day of rain kept temperatures below 100 Tuesday for the first time in nearly a month. Thunderstorms showered North Texas Tuesday, cooling parts of the state to the mid-90s. 108 people have died in Texas because of the heat, pushing the death toll nationwide to at least 175. This morning, it looks like Dr. Jack Kevorkian's former lawyer, Jeffrey Feiger, will be the Democratic candidate for governor of Michigan. With 97% of the precincts reporting, Feiger won 41% of the vote in Tuesday's Democratic primary. His closest rival has 37%. Feiger, whose sharp tongue has brought him widespread recognition, campaigned as an outsider. It appears he will now face Michigan Governor John Engler in the November election. Today, Weapons Inspector Rich Butler will brief UN officials on why talks with Iraq have collapsed. Butler stopped in London, where he told interviewers the latest development should not be called a crisis, but he also accused Iraq of hiding the truth about its weapons program. It is now 7:06. Let's go back to Katie and Matt, and that's great news for Texas. Some relief there.
I know, relief. Now it's in the mid-90s. That's unbelievable, though, isn't it? Didn't they say
relatively nice, though.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah, considering it was way above 100 for a long time.
No, I know. It's just strange, isn't it, to say that it's cooled down to the mid-90s. Thanks, Sam.
Hey, you're back, but the family's not all together because Mr. Roker is continuing the week of vacation. So Willard Scott is down in Washington, and of course you're the main part of the family, Willard.
He's our weird uncle.
That's weird old Uncle Willie. Hey, I'm glad to see you back. I didn't know how much I liked you until I missed you.
Until you said that, too.
Well, the weather
Gee, Willard, thanks. I'm all warm and fuzzy.
I saw a lady, Robin, worked with you in Miami. Saw her at the airport the other day. Said hello.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, happy days in Texas, and did that story. More to come today, 95 rain, thunderstorms, but it'll be humid. A little bit of a problem, but they still, are glad they got a break. Still hot from the desert southwest all the way up through the Rocky Mountains, western Montana, and rain from the Great Lakes on down through into Missouri. Here's what's happening in your world even as we speak.
Good morning. Doppler radar on the 75-mile range shows an area of showers and thunder showers covering parts of southeastern Wisconsin, and some lightning showing up as well on lightning track 4. And you notice there's a slow movement toward the north at about 25 miles per hour. Low pressure to our south is pretty much going to stay in place over the next couple of days. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms lingering into Thursday. Our forecast today, cloudy skies, periods of showers and scattered thunderstorms. 68 the high at the lakeshore, up to 75 inland, winds out of the east.
Now back to Matt in New York.
Willard, thank you very much. On Close Up this morning, the stock market, as we report, a 300-point drop in the Dow has many wondering what's ahead. Ron inches the market every day for CNBC. Ron, good to see you.
Thanks, Matt. Good to see you.
Let's get technical here. A correction in the market technically is a 10% line. At the end of yesterday's trading, we were down about 9.5% from the high. Is this a correction?
Definitely a correction. If you look at the average stock trading either at the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, they're down even more, somewhere between 20 and 35%. So, yeah, the market's in the midst of a correction. The question is whether or not it is a bear market.
Which would be a drop of at least 20%, and again, some specific stocks are at that level.
Absolutely. Smaller stocks are definitely in the bear market phase. Stocks that haven't come down as much are the big cap stocks of the world, the Microsofts, the General Electrics, the Coca-Cola. Correcting now, and some of those are off 10% or better. So they, too, are in a corrective phase.
Point some fingers for me. Okay. Why is this happening?
Things have taken place. And you remember in our past conversation was that something has to change for the bull market to run into trouble. Well, Asia was a big change, and that's having a negative effect on the U.S. economy.
But it's been going on for a long time.
We're starting to feel it now, though. I mean, in the second quarter, GDP grew at a slower pace because the trade deficit grew so much. That was an outgrowth of the Asian problems. Corporate profits slowing, partly because of Asia. The political problems of the president said to be a background negative, and also the behavior of the market itself has turned negative in some people's eyes, and that is a considerable issue.
All right, let's talk about this guy, Ralph Alcampora. Why are people saying such bad things about him this morning?
That I don't know. I mean, Ralph had been previously very positively
He's
disposed.
with Prudential Securities.
He is a technical analyst who looks at charts. He essentially looks at the pictures of the stock market and decides where the market goes based on past performance. He, up until a few days ago, was looking for the Dow to go to 10,000 by the end of this year. He reversed and suggested that the market could go down 15 to 20% from its highs, meaning that the Dow could go down to about 70 instead of 10,000.
Let's literally hear his words, and then I want you to comment on the impact on the market.
I've been saying that the secondary stocks are already in a bear market, and my call this morning is that the blue chips will also go into a bear market. Fair call.
He was talking to 6,700 Prudential brokers yesterday. Why could that trigger a decline?
Well, they tell their clients. 6,700 brokers have some multiple of that number in terms of clients, and they sell based on those recommendations. He also said on CBC yesterday afternoon at about 3:30 Eastern time, so he was talking also to a nation of stock market investors.
Does he carry that much clout?
At different stages in market cycles, different people have that kind of clout. Ralph has been hot in the last 3 years, and so people listen. And so occasionally people will, in fact, move the market.
What's today? And not to ask you to look into a crystal ball, but what do you think?
We've seen some early indications this morning that the stock market might open a little bit higher. A really important part of the day is how the market closes. If it opens higher and stays higher, people will think this round of selling might be over. If it opens higher and closes lower, people will be more bearish on the stock market than they were.
And off we go again.
Yeah.
Ron, thanks very much.
Thank you, Matt.
By the way, you can follow the stock market all day long on cable. It's 7-Eleven. Here's Katie.
Thank you, Matt. So what does this mean for you out there? Money Magazine's Jean Chatzky is here with some advice. All of us small investors. Hi, Jean. How are you?
Katie, good morning.
I guess the two most important words, don't panic.
Absolutely. You want to take a deep breath. You want to sit back, say, what do I have in my portfolio and what should I be doing with it?
Let's say I need to send kids to college next year. In other words, short-term cash.
The cash that you need in the next 1 to 3 to even 5 years does not belong in a market this volatile. It probably doesn't belong in the market at all. And there are many places you can put that money, short-term havens that are safer than the market, but where you'll get better returns, saving account, treasuries, CDs that you've chosen well, money market funds. Those are all very good alternatives.
So this might be a really good time for people to sort of reassess where their money is.
Right, and say what portion belongs in the market and what portion does not.
What about retirement money? A lot of people are wondering about their 401ks.
Hold on. Your long-term money, the money that you don't need for the next 10 to 20 to 30 years, belongs for most people in the market in a good percentage. And that's the money that you want to put in investments that you've chosen well, where you've done your homework, and you want to let it ride.
So don't panic when it comes to your 401k.
Right. A lot of mutual fund managers, there were stories yesterday on the internet about mutual fund managers going out to lunch. I mean, we should take a real lesson from this and just learn that there is a time that we want to be looking at everything with a fine-tooth comb. There, just sit back and wait it out.
Now, traditionally when this happens, a lot of people go shopping for bargains. And your advice is the same there. You should wait it out, basically.
You want to, again, the mutual fund managers are not jumping in waves. You want to do your homework when you're bargain hunting. You don't want to just leap in because the price is lower so it looks more attractive. This is all a result of corporate earnings. Prices hinge off corporate earnings, and you have to decide if the price that you're willing to pay is actually worth it. So go in, look at the fundamentals, see what you expect a company to earn over the next couple of years, and make a rational decision.
What about timing the market? Some people try to do that, you know, buy low, sell high, and figure out what's going to happen when that's extremely difficult to do.
It's
isn't it?
extremely difficult to do. It's a really bad idea. We saw with the '87 crash that people who just held on through the ups and downs did much better than people who try in and out on the overall. So just pick your investments well and ride them out. Hang on.
And finally, what do you expect in the next few months, and what sort of overriding advice can you give to small investors?
I expect it to be pretty rocky until we see next round of earnings reports come in, and maybe even beyond. And I believe that we should really just be prepared, hold on to our gut, and ride it out.
All right. Jean Chatzky. Jean, thanks so much.
Sure.
It's 7:14. Once again, it's Matt.
Katie, thank you. Now the story of the little girl switched at birth in a Virginia hospital 3 years ago. The mother of one of the children talked Tuesday about her heart-wrenching situation. NBC's Fred Francis was there.
Albert caddying for his week, so congratulations to Chip Beck. He finally breaks the ice, and he will be here for the weekend in Milwaukee. Well, the tournament summary shapes up like this. Lauren Roberts with a course record 9 under 62. That's a tournament course record. Scott Hoke, the defending champion, 1 under after the first 2 rounds. Roberts won in 96. Hoke won in 95. They have dominated this event the past couple. But then Mark Calcavecchia and Chris Perry after the second round both had 12 under par, 130. 70 players made the cut at -3. And as we mentioned, the tournament course record of 62 tied 3 times during the first 2 rounds of this Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Miller Lite. Temperature is 80 degrees, humidity at 45%, winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10, and the forecast is very simple, sunny and clear. It has been absolutely beautiful. As we take a look at the leaderboard in this third round, and Chris Perry right now with a 2-shot lead over Calcavecchia, Sluman, and Henke. Wisconsinite Steve Stricker at -12 along with Lewis Wentworth, and then David Ogren, who hails from Waukegan, Illinois, just about 60 miles from here in the hunt. John McGinnis playing for just the 5th time this year. Billy Andrade made a big move yesterday. Yetstead has struggled this year. He is at 10 under. As we go on down the board, Woody Austin has played primarily on the Nike Tour this year, having a good event. Brian Cam at 8 under, Lee Porter. Lauren Roberts down there at the bottom had one of those 9 under 62s. He is +3 on his round today, and it's 7 under. I'm Roger Twibell, along with Curtis Strange, our hole announcers Peter Alice, Steve Melnick, and we'd like to welcome this week Carl Ravage, who will be working with us. Out on the golf course, Judy Rankin, Captain Bob Rosberg, and for any rulings, the esteemed Frank Hannigan. As we go out to the 10th hole.
Chris Perry here at the 10th, putting for a birdie. Perry, our leader, at under, 4 under today. Playing beautifully.
And to be this close in 2, Peter, 2 good shots here. It's one of the best par 4s on the golf course. Dog leg to the right, driver and a long iron. Very flat green, though, not much to this putt.
Beautiful outwood 931, 4 under. Course in excellent condition, beautiful weather, good crowds. We couldn't want for much more. Up to 13.
Jeff Sluman playing beautifully out in 30. This is second shot at 13. Jeff, who lives nearby in Chicago. Beautiful shot for Sluy, who is 6 under par on his round thus far today. Good course for Jeff. Doesn't drive it a long way. Keeps the ball in play. Very straight and a good. Back at 10.
Mark Calcavecchia now at 14 under. 3 players at 14 under. 2 behind Perry, the leader. This for a par. So he stays at 14 under. Perry leads the way at 16 under, 4 under today. Some good golf under beautiful conditions.
Well, Steve Stricker, the Wisconsin native, became a dad on Monday. Wife Nikki delivered him a baby girl, Bobby Jean. Nolan Hankey has one of those course record 9 under 62s this week. Jeff Sluman, always steady, always entertaining. Mark Kalkavecchia is 18th consecutive Greater Milwaukee Open. And this man, Chris Perry, looking to win for the first time on the PGA Tour. Now, let's go to our ABC Wide World of Sports studios in New York and say hello to John Saunders. John?
Rogers, thanks a lot, and say hello to a new member of the 60 Home Club. We'll be following this all day. Mark McGwire began the day with 59. His first at bat today against the Reds. He absolutely crushed one left field. He now has 60. Ruth, Maris, and McGwire, the only players in history ever to hit 60 home runs, and he still has 22 to go. Sammy Sosa tonight, he is at 57, so the chase continues, and we'll keep you up to date throughout the day. Joined now by Todd Blackledge as we talk a little bit of college football. Big matchup between Syracuse and Tennessee.
Yeah, good matchup. Young quarterback and experienced quarterback Donovan McNabb for Syracuse. In a game like this, the team that makes the fewest mistakes usually comes out on top.
Yeah, and mistakes were key in the first half of this game. Syracuse had come back to tie it at 7 apiece. Rob Conrad fumbles the ball. Steve Johnson recovers deep in Syracuse territory. White was in on that one. Top 7, and then T. Martin replacing Peyton Manning. He looked pretty good early on in this game, Todd.
Yeah, he shows good mobility around a lot of bootlegs. He's had a pretty good first half for Tennessee.
Syracuse just added a field goal, 14-10. You see T. Martin, 3 completions, but he moved the ball very, very well early on in that game. A reminder, 3:30 Eastern time this afternoon here on ABC, a full slate of regional action.
Well, first of all, up at Penn State, Joe Paterno looking for his 299th win. It won't come easy against Southern Miss. Michigan State had 120 yards last week in the loss to Colorado State. Another tough one at Oregon. Joe Hamilton, one of the bright young quarterbacks in college football, leads his team against BC. And Oklahoma State, coming off their first bowl game since 1988, tries to get off to a good early start in the Big 12.
Yeah, all of those games at 3:30 Eastern time. And, of course, we'll keep you up to date on the home run race. Right now, let's take you back out later to the Greater Milwaukee Open.
When we drafted Tim Duncan, I invited him to my home to get ready for the season. He was learning so much. That doesn't count. You were out. The roses are out, Timmy, not the daisies. Till one day, you brought this into my home. That's something I'm proud of. I calmly explained how Edge Pro Gel protects better than foam because it has 8 rich lubricants. David, sure enough, you gotta feel comfortable. More lemonade, Tim?
Edge Pro Gel. Save your skin.
The roses, Tim, are out of bounds. Go with the gnomes. The gnomes can be out of bounds.
Trains now go 300 miles an hour. Mail 3,000 miles a second. Athletes can record. So how come pain relief isn't faster? Introducing Advil Liquid Gels, the first and only pain reliever in a faster-acting liquid-filled capsule that's gentle on your stomach. Pain Advil Liquid Gels are stronger and faster than extra-strength Tylenol. Headaches to muscle aches. New Advil Liquid Gels. Advanced medicine for pain. Just got faster.
David Duval, Mark O'Meara, Steve Elkington, Jeff Maggart. In the last year, they've won over $5 million on the PGA Tour. Fortunately, they're investing it wisely. Schwab is the investment firm of the PGA Tour.
What makes Michael J. Fox the true Casanova of comedy?
Put her needs first.
Mike, I'm getting lonely.
In a second.
And when you see who he's dating this season, you'll know why he's got his hands full.
Okay, just smile at me.
Spin City premieres ABC Tuesday, September 22nd at 9, 8 Central.
ABC Sports presents the PGA Tour from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Third round coverage of the Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Miller Lite. This is a huge sports weekend in Wisconsin. Kick it off tomorrow in Green Bay against the Detroit Lions. And, well, baseball, they've got it too. The Brewers are playing this weekend at County Stadium, but not for long. In April of 2000, they moved to their new digs, Miller Park, which is being constructed just across the way. Ice sports, they've got them here at the Pettit Ice Center. Some of the best the United States has ever produced, and speed skaters like Nate Blair and Dan Jansen have practiced hours on end to achieve greatness in the Olympics. And today we're at Brown Deer Park, a public course operated by the Milwaukee County Park System for the third round of this Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Miller Lite. We saw Jeff Sluman a few moments ago. He made par, so he remains at 14 under, and two back of our Chris Perry. Calcavecchia also at 14. Henke at 14 under. J.L. Lewis with a beautiful round today of 664. He has made a huge move the last 2 days. Kevin Wentworth also at 12 under par. Stricker at even par as we take a look at Chris Perry, our leader, at the 11th, 189-yard par 3.
And the players.
And just barely trickles onto the front of the green. Wind starting to kick up just a little bit more as we move to 14.
Jeff Sluman on the tee on this straightaway par 3. This is a 5. Brisk follow through, bounces the club off his shoulder. Good one though, right on line. Excellent shot from Sluman. Two behind the leader, Perry at the as we go back to the 11th.
Mark Calcavecchia with a 7-iron.
When he misses to the right, and Mark cuts every shot he could to his head. But he doesn't fight it. Let's go to 12. This is David Ogren, 12th hole, a relatively short par 4, 367 yards. So what makes this hole difficult is the green slopes from back to front severely, so this little putt doesn't look very tough, but it breaks to the right pretty good. He moves to 11 under and heads towards the final holes, of which we'll see 2 par 5s in the last 4. A lot of scoring to be done. Chris Perry and Mark Calcavecchia hitting their backside. Jeff Sluman so far the top round at 6 under.
Alan Edmonds. For all walks of life. For a free catalog, call 1-800-235-2348.
The new 32-valve front-wheel drive Continental from Lincoln. Because the driver who has the most precision wins. Continental from Lincoln. What a luxury car should be.
There's been a lot of talk lately about shallow-faced fairway woods, but what you don't hear a lot about is how they perform in conditions like this, in the rough. With their smaller hitting area, they can slide right underneath the ball, catch it on the crown, and pop it right.
Now, the new Big Bertha Steelhead fairway woods have a lower center of gravity than those shallow-faced clubs.
and the 1/3 larger hitting area. They'll get the forgiveness you need. I think you're going to love them.
Why is America on America Online?
Email's great.
It's fast, it's responsive.
I just click and I'm there.
I can't even use a copy machine and I can do it.
I love to get instant messages.
They have parental controls, free software.
It's the internet and a whole lot more. We've spent over $1 billion to create a state-of-the-art high-speed work. And now with 56K, connections are faster than ever. Encyclopedias, dictionaries.
Research? I sent my grandma my school picture.
There's no better way to keep in touch.
America Online, so easy to use, no wonder it's #1.
Alan Edmonds. For all walks of life. For a free catalog, call 1-800-235-2348.
Hands up! Over 150 of the finest players in the world. Out of the gate, it's David Duval and Billy Andrade with Phil Mickelson and Scott Hoke hot on the chase. Turning for home. It's Duval on nose, but here comes B.J. Singh, and down the stretch they come. It's Jesper Parnevik making a run, but look at Davis Love go. Can catch him. It's Love. It's Duval, and he's got it. Davis Love the third. The come from behind winner by a nose. Whew, these guys are good.
The Greater Milwaukee Open, presented by Miller Lite. This ABC Sports presentation brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that every Miller Lite is sold ready to drink. Charles Schwab, the official investment firm of the PGA Tour. The complete line of 1998 Lincoln automobiles. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be. And Callaway Golf, makers of the big steelhead drivers at Fairway Woods.
Chris Perry, our leader, fourth round today. This long putt for birdie at the par 3 11.
And not an easy one. Comes up over a little ridge right there, breaking from right. Very nicely done.
So Chris, who's coming off best year ever on the PGA Tour last year, where he won over $400,000, and he has been out here for a while with a 2-shot lead.
And he's always had a good swing. I always wondered why he didn't do and play better than he did, but now he seems to be getting some more. Maybe he's always not had the most confidence in his own golf game and own swing.
Let's go to 14.
Sluman after that fine tee shot, this for birdie. All the way. Very nicely done.
Back to the 11th.
And this is Mark Calcutta, second shot at the par 3 from just off the putting surface.
So much depends on his lie.
That's a strong part of his game, Curtis, with that wedge around the greens.
He is one of the best, especially when you can get a sand wedge or L wedge in his hand. He loves to take that big swing and cut it up in the air.
12.
One place you don't want to be with your second shot on hole 12. The short par 4 is in the rough here. Nolan Hankey, this a moment ago.
It was not a very lie in the rough, 125 yards.
He has played well, Jude. He's got 4 birdies on his card so far today.
Some excellent iron play on the front 9.
So Chris Perry with a 1-shot lead now over Jeff Sluman in this third round of the Greater, presented by Miller Lite. And this is Chris for his par at the 11th, which he rolls in, so he remains at 16 under and 4 under on his round today. And hi, everybody. Along with Curtis Strange, I'm Roger Twibel. Hope your holiday weekend is getting off to a good start. It's absolutely gorgeous here in Milwaukee, Curtis. Blue skies. The golf course is in perfect condition. We've seen 62s. We've seen 63s. There should be no excuses from the golfers.
I don't know what happened to me, though.
I wasn't going to say anything.
You know, if there was a golf course, the greens are absolutely perfect. They, a couple of years ago, had some trouble here, but the last 2 years, the golf course is absolutely perfect with no wind at all. I don't want to predict this, but if there's ever going to be a 59 or 60 shot, it could be here this week.
This, of course, is the start of the fall season of the PGA Tour, including this event, 8 tournaments before the Tour Championship. And Vijay Singh is here because he wants the money title, but you have a lot.
And it's also just another week to play golf.
Right, another week to play golf and earn another check. But you have a lot of guys who are getting a chance to play now because some of the bigger names are staying home, and they're trying to make the top 125.
The 125, this is where the big, mad push starts. It's a fall tournament. They get a chance to play, like you said. The ones that aren't in the 125, there's panic setting in, there's pressure, their nerves, they don't sleep very well. It's a tough time of the year for them.
And this is an exciting time, too, for a number of players because we have some new fun at the PGA Tour.
And, of course, Steve Stricker's got a lot of pressure on him this week. The baby was born on Monday. He sort of gathered himself and shot a 63 the other day.
Well, you know, people play well in strange times. I always played well when Sarah gave birth. It was just, you know, I think your mind and pressure's taken off. Your mind is somewhere else. You relax and you just play golf.
And they are playing golf out here at Brown Deer Park as we'll move to the 12th.
We've seen some exciting action so far. A lot of birdies and eagles being made here so far this week.
This is Chris Perry, his tee shot, and again, a dog leg to the left. Players using 3-wood, some irons, and many drivers. If you use your driver, the hole actually opens up a little bit the further down the fairway you go.
Wind a little out of the right here makes this drive a little easier.
And he has pulled it left, right over your shoulder, Rossi.
Yep. Well, not quite. A little more left than that, but it's not very good in there.
And now Calcavecchia, who says the real difference this week has been his ability to just grip it and rip it, hitting fairways as well as anyone.
That is perfect.
And the very attractive group features also Steve Stricker, one of 11 Wisconsin natives playing in this tournament.
Steve
Says even next to majors that this is as important a tournament to win for him as there is.
Steve coming off a bogey at 10 where he hit a terrible drive and knocked it very close to the hole at 11 and missed it.
And just the first cut. Made par in his first 7 holes today and then went birdie on the 8th. Chronicled Nolan Hankey hitting out of the rough, his 3rd shot.
Right in the area where the players walk off the green, it was quite flat and beat down. A little straight-face iron.
And this a moment ago. Nolan Hankey with the thank you very much birdie, and he's 117 now on the money list. And granted, you want to get to the top 125, but by the same token, you don't want to fall out of it either. Nolan Hankey birdie there. We'll be back with more of the Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Miller Lite. This message and a word from our ABC stations.
Say you could create the airline of your dreams. Keep going. Ooh, comfy. What next? My, we are dreaming, aren't we? Friendly service, good. Hey, it's already here. Midwest Express, rated the best U.S. air in the Zagat Airline Survey and Condé Nast Traveler. Just one thing left.
Perfect.
Great fares, great schedules are yours online at FlyME.
Dad, where did the barn go?
Nowhere. It's there.
Where?
In the fog. But you just can't see it.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh. I promise you, son. It'll always be there.
With the right plan, what you intend to leave to your family will actually go to your family. Have you heard from the Quiet Company? Not alive.
Joe Paterno leads Penn State against Southern Miss. Don't miss the Nittany Lions in their season opener. Next on ABC. College football on ABC. Imagine George Jefferson and Archie Bunker rolled into one.
Good morning.
It is a good morning, isn't it?
Why did that's my trash?
Lady, who do I look like, Vincent?
0.9% financing. $1,500 cash back. How much can you save during your Ford Store's factory authorized clearance? The sky's the limit. Clearance time means 0.9 financing on America's best-selling Ford Ranger. $1,500 cash on the 5-star safety-rated Ford Windstar. And incredible 1.9 financing on every F-150 in stock. Selection is great. Savings are incredible. It's the factory authorized clearance. How much can you save? Find out at your local Ford store today.
We all want to retire financially secure. And at BC Ziegler & Company, we know what it takes to retire successfully. We've helped generations of investors build their retirement income for a brighter future. One of the ways is tax-exempt investing. We'll help you discover the keys to keeping more of what your investments earn through tax-exempt bonds. Ziegler & Company. Find out the Ziegler Advantage with tax-exempt income. Call 1-800-558-1776 for the office nearest you.
12 Sports total coverage of the GMO tonight at 10:35.
You're watching the PGA Tour on BC Sports.
We're back. Steve Stricker looking at his second shot. Pin tucked to the right, just over that bunker.
112 yards up the hill.
112 yards will play like 117 or 18 yards.
Chris Perry now, he's going to shoot. I thought he was away to start with, but you couldn't see Stricker getting ready to shoot. He has 120 yards and really got a tremendous break. He really has a wide open shot and not a bad life.
Here, sit down.
Pulled it a little, but, you know, that's acceptable from there.
You never want to be in the rough or under the trees, but the fact is where that pin is located, where that flagstick is located, he had a better angle. Here's Calcavecchia with the best.
That was from 104.
Perfect.
The T13.
Nolan Hinkie, narrow landing area. A lot of players like to play a little cut off the tee.
Well, from the elevated tee, you're looking to hit the ball about 260.
And Judy, that's exactly what he's done here. That's a 150 marker there you see.
Well, Roger and Curtis talked about the second season, the sprint to the 125. On the right-hand column is the money rank of those players on the first page of the leaderboard. Carl mentioned Nolan Hinkie at 117. You've got really two tournaments here. You've got Calcavecchia, Stricker trying to remain in the top 30 for the Tour Championship. And for the other end of the field, those players trying to maintain their exempt status by being among the top 125. Jeff Sluman, an outside chance to get a Tour Championship as we go out to 15.
And Jeff Sluman trying to figure out what to do here. The tee shot takes you down to a creek, and that's about a 312-yard carry. He maybe hit it a little further than he wanted to, and as most players laid up with his iron.
Carl, because the wind is picking up just ever so slightly, we've had a hot sun all week long. These fairways are drying up, and as you see, who normally doesn't hit it that far, but was able to hit it 310 yards.
Unblemished for Jeff Sluman, 7 under today. You see the scores in the order, and we'll show you those throughout the tournament today. Tom Byram, Mark Calcavecchia, you see his position, where he is, where he stands today. To the 12th, and this is Chris Perry's putt for birdie.
And his eyes have been quite clear so far this week, Curtis.
I get in trouble when I say things like that, Carl.
I'm new. I won't.
Now, this putt that Chris has is a big swinger from left to right. And the problem, or what makes this putt so difficult, as you see it, it'll come up, you'll play it up the hill, but when it starts to break hard, it breaks downhill, and it picks up speed ever so slightly. Tough to judge the speed.
Level on the back so far with the par on 10, par on 11 his front side. He birdied 2, birdied 4, birdied 6, and birdied 8.
Like I said earlier, I think Chris has always had a very good golf swing, solid golf swing. I wonder why he hasn't played better over the years, but it was times he seemed to seek out too much advice almost, and instead of just going with his own instincts, his own golf swing, and just play golf. Sometimes we look for trouble. We get into trouble by being too perfect.
Hasn't missed a cut since Atlanta in May. And he'll come up about 4 feet short.
Well, Carl, next on ABC Sports, we'll bring you college football regional action for all of those of you except on the West Coast. Always dangerous Southern Miss takes on Penn State. Big Ten, Pac-10 matchup, Michigan State, Boston College, and Georgia Tech. And then the featured game out of the Big 12, Oklahoma State and Kansas. And don't forget Wake Forest at Air Force.
That's pathetic.
We'll keep you updated, Curtis. Let's go to 13.
To 13. Second shot for Nolan Hickey.
159 yards, somewhere in between a 7 and an 8 iron.
A little unlucky. That's the firm part of the green, the high side of the green. Back at 15.
And Jeff Sluman's third shot on the par 5 15th. And in a perfect world, leave it below the hole. He skidded it by just a little bit. And now to 12. Steve Stricker's birdie putt on the way. Starting to get it going a little bit better. Stricker did bogey the 10th, but a sort of slow start by Steve standards after what he was able to do yesterday in the tap in here for par. Short hole, but it caused us a lot of problems. Calcavecchia eyeing it open now. 12th hole on day 1 was the second toughest hole. On day 2 it was the 7th. Today it's the 15th, but the difference in scoring from morning to afternoon, absolutely outstanding here, with the morning round dominating the afternoon play. Mark expected that to move a little bit to the right. And now we move ahead to 14.
Logren here at the 14th. 11 under. That's a 5 iron. Ooh, come along. Beautiful shot from David. 2 under for his round today. At 5 behind Chris Perry, the leader. And there he is at 12th.
Stalking his par putt, we saw his first effort come up over 4 feet short, and this one, Curtis, has some movement too, doesn't it?
Just a little bit. It's one of those little delicate putts you have to be careful on. You think you ought to make about 90% of these, if not all of them, but you still have to work very hard on them. Tough putt because you have to start at left edge, and as we all know, you have to stay down and through. If you come up and out of this putt ever so slightly, you'll miss it to the right. There's a good angle on to watch the break of this putt. Just barely left edge.
So Perry able to his par. A lot of baseball in his blood. We've talked McGuire today, and also Miller Park. His father Jim and Uncle Gaylord Perry.
That was Mark Calcavecchia and Stricker, and that final group of the day make their way from the 12th over to the 13th. We mentioned, of course, it's Steve Stricker and his wife, Nikki, the baby girl on Monday. We also want to send our congratulations out to Dave Stockton Jr. and his wife, Diane. Serena Audrey was born on Wednesday, 2 months premature. Everything seems to be going fine, and Dave withdrew from the tournament this week. Dad Dave Sr. also withdrew from the senior event this week to be there with the family. And if you go back to 1968, when Dave Jr. was born at the end of July, won here at the Greater Milwaukee Open 2 weeks before that. First of his 2 victories here. So congratulations to them as we move back to 15.
This is Jeff Sluman's birdie effort. Oh! Curtis talked about how difficult it is to get it to the hole, and Jeff came as close as you can. He'll have that easy tap into par.
Well, so many times when it's a delicate putt down the hill, you do leave it short because you're so concerned, almost too careful.
This is about as close as you can get. Jeff Sluman in the hunt, now just 1 behind the leader, Chris Perry, who's 16 under.
If you're not experiencing ultimate luxury, maybe you're in the wrong car. Introducing a new town car from Lincoln. Still exactly what a luxury car should be.
Making airplanes do the impossible is a little stressful, especially on engines. That's why aerobatic champion Patty Wagstaff uses oil made by Shell. Oil that keeps it cool through the hammerheads, snap rolls, and humpty bumps of aerobatics. In fact, Shell is the oil most private bus use. Because it's good to have a friend in high places. Count on Shell.
We argue who had a better lawn.
They're all envious for my Scott lawn, definitely.
Scott does it for all 3 of us.
Now, during the summer, grass takes a beating.
Heavy sun, drought.
What the grass needs is Turf Builder. About September, I put on Turf Builder. It pumps, it rejuvenates, it gives it that extra punch for the roots.
You gotta feed it.
It's beautiful lawn. Look at that.
Look at thick.
Nice and green.
It's thick, flush.
Fall is the best time of year to put down Scott's Turf Builder.
Why are we quoting high-level sources inside the Swiss Olympic Committee on Helsinki's bid for the 2010 Olympics?
What's the problem?
Helsinki's in Finland.
Get to know Casey, Dan, Isaac, Natalie, Dana, and Jeremy.
I thought it was in Sweden.
Sweden or Switzerland?
Finland.
Sports Tuesday, September 22nd.
Is Helsinki?
Yes, you unbelievable idiots.
A lot of kids get into crime because they don't have a stand-up adult to set them straight. If you care, become a mentor and teach a kid right from wrong. So do some good, help a kid. Here's the number to find out how. Children first. Go on, do it.
We're back at 13 on the tee. Well, you can define Chris's good play by those weeks when he drives it well, and this clearly is one of those weeks. 16 under par, 4 under today, in the lead by 1. As we go up to 16, Jeff Sluman, a short 371-yard par 4, layup off the tee. Bunkers right and left. You'd like to ideally fit it between those two.
But the players will take enough club to just carry that bunker on the right, and it'll come up short of the bunker on the left if they do pull it. It's 210 yards to carry, Steve, bunker on the right. Normally a 2 or 3 iron shot for the guys.
And Jeff's in perfect position here. Coming a guy with a wry sense of humor, Jeff.
And this is Nolan Hinkey's 3rd from behind the green. Can he do it 2 in a row? No. If you look at this leaderboard with Perry, Sluman, Hinkey, and Calcabec, you've got Ohio State, FSU, and Florida represented by those 4 players. It's pretty much a consensus of the top 3 teams in the country right now. We've got Calcavecchia back on the tee at 13.
Wind coming out of the left. Mark will start it down the left-hand side and let the wind drift it.
I would put Calcavecchia and Nick Price in the category of best long drivers in the game. Mark has the ability to overpower a golf course. Good scoring today. As Roger and Curtis talked about, there's no excuse in not going out and playing well. Billy Andrade out in 65 today. Remember, par 71 here. It's nice to see a public golf course holding a tournament such as this. Milwaukee County's done a wonderful job of bringing public golf to its citizenry. This is one of 16 public courses in the Milwaukee County area. This course has held the Pub Links Championship on 3 separate occasions. And Curtis, we have a wonderful addition this week. The Green Reader, take us through it on 13.
Well, let's take a look at the green. It's one of the better par 4s on the golf course. As we follow down, you see the ridge in the front of the green. You have to get it over that to have a makeable birdie putt. You don't want to miss long left. You saw where Nolan Hinkey just had to chip from. Obviously, long goes down a little embankment there that you see. You shouldn't see any balls right today in the bunker. Really a fun green. You can see movement in it, but nothing. There's no elephants buried. It's just you have to put it below the hole, which would be short left of the flagstick today. An interesting green. A lot of fun. Good golf hole.
And now Rossi Chris Perry first to play.
He has 180 yards laid back, just a shade longer than 1 2. Wind out of the left and just a shade in the player's face.
Rossi, you should look for this ball to be right of the flagstick just because he can't afford to miss left. That would short-side him for the 3rd shot.
Very true, Curtis. And I think with the wind coming in the player's face makes this hole a little easier. The green is hard to hold when the wind gets behind the players. Easy. On the green. Well, that wasn't very good.
Miss-hit, Rossi, or just bad club?
Oh, I think it hit. I don't think he liked it as soon as he hit it.
To 14?
Hinkey on the tee at the 14th.
Well, he's pulled it. It will certainly not be anywhere near the hole.
6 iron and, well, good club for distance, but slightly wayward.
New tee here to the left on the par 3 14th. This tee, I believe, is just new this year, and at least to my eye, improves the angle.
Back to the 30.
Stricker second.
Stricker from 170.
Beautiful play, right at it.
He's got to get going. He's just marking time here. Even par. That doesn't do very much for you around Brown Deer.
Well, Rossi, we talked about how difficult it is to follow a great round with a good one. He shot 63 yesterday. He's even today.
That's right. Billy Andrade came up 2 good rounds in a row, 64, 65.
Now, Cal?
165 yards for Calcavecchia.
Peter. Go. Go.
Very nice. Well, let's put into perspective the shot that Chris Perry has here, Curtis.
Well, he missed a 6 iron, just didn't hit it very some 40 feet short of the flag. Now he has a difficult bunker shot. As we zoom down in, that's what you see a tall man looks at. Can't see the bottom of the flag stick, and the past the flag will go away from him. Difficult shot.
Chris Perry looking for his first win on the PGA Tour. He's been second a host of times. Maybe this is a breakout week.
American Century Mutual Funds presents the great shots of the century. At last year's Greater Milwaukee Open, Scott Hoch needed birdie, on the par 5 18th to force a playoff with leader Lauren Roberts. He did one better. This chip in for eagle gave him his second win in Milwaukee. Was one of 97's most memorable moments.
American Century's 5-star equity growth fund consistently beat the S&P 500. Call 1-800-321-3219.
The idea behind this design was to get the ball airborne easily and quickly, and it really came from working with people on the range. It's a practical application. There's an optimum launch angle based on the speed of your swing that will optimize distance. And for many golfers, this is it.
I mean, I have never seen a golf club get more dramatic results with players immediately than the Titleist, period.
You talk about buying your technology and buying your game. This is a club that really meets that promise.
Off the fairway, out of the rough, even in the bunker. No lie is too tough for the Titleist. Call now for your free video and information and take the 90-day Titleist challenge. Distance, confidence, and consistency in your game with Titleist. Call now.
New evidence. All toothpastes, even regular Crest, Colgate, and Mentadent, leave plaque in your teeth every day. They can be too coarse to penetrate microscopic crevices where plaque and deep stain collect. New evidence. Arm & Hammer Dental Care, the only formula level baking soda, is better at cleaning plaque away. It dissolves so fine it penetrates crevices where deep stain builds. Teeth are clean and white every day. Arm & Hammer. Evidence. Plaque clean, bite clean. Arm & Hammer.
There was a time men, the best of their home countries, marched forth, crossing foreign terrain, wielding sabers of iron and wood. There was a time, well, friend, it's happening again. The World Golf Championships. This time, it's for the world.
A moment ago, this was Ray's bunker shot at 13. Just stuck it in the ground.
Hard to play a long bunker shot out of an uphill lie, Steve. I've always thought.
Yeah, because the first bunker shot is long, and now you're looking at double, and now here's Chris, long putt for par. Swing from right to left. Will it turn? It just didn't hit it. So the first bogey of the day for our leader. And now up ahead at 16, Jeff Sluman, perfect position off the tee. A little backboard behind this flagstick. It's a nice slope. Should you go a little long? Okay. Solid round for Jeff, 7 under par. And now Calcavecchia, his birdie putt. Where's a player that can make a rasher of birdies? He and Duval would be great people to pick for a team championship.
And there you see him going cross-handed. Steve, he goes back and forth. It just depends on what he feels like that week.
A lot of talent. Kind of fights himself on the greens. He's a much better putter than he gives himself credit for being. I mean, here's a man who's 10th on the leading money list. Won, of course, the British Open in that playoff.
You know, Steve, guys with a lot of talent and a lot of feel can always felt like they can putt just about any way they want to.
Sure. That's just a matter of feel for most of these players who are good putters inherently. I think you can make a good putter out of a marginal putter, but I don't think you can make a marginal putter.
I agree with you.
And now Stricker for his birdie. Need something to get going, as Rossi said. Even par thus far today. What a run he has had since South Atlanta.
He has made $750,000 since Atlanta. Second at the PGA Championship to Vijay Singh.
One of those days. And now Sluman to break out of a three-way log jam at the top. Ooh. Just burned the top edge. So Jeff, who won at Tucson last year, to break out of a 9-year winning drought. He won the PGA Championship in 1988, and then it was not until last year at Tucson he won his second event on the PGA Tour. Lost the playoff for the Players Championship to Sandy Lau. And you see the three players tied at the top at 15 under. This leaderboard tightly bunched. J.L. Lewis, terrific round today at 64. And while we have a moment, let's go up to 18 and our colleague, Roger.
Time now for our ABC Sports Golf Notebook. Golf, unlike the big money team sports, has been spared player management fights. That's because we thought the players are the PGA Tour. There are no owners to battle. But suddenly, rumblings within the tour. A group of players led by Danny Edwards have formed what they call the Tour Players Association. They say the current PGA Tour structure leaves a lot to be desired. Edwards says the association has been formed because many of the players feel they need a new form of representation. But he emphasizes the group wants to work in harmony with the tour. Our Frank Hannigan talked with both Danny Edwards and Jay Haas, one of 4 players who serves on the Tour Policy Board, to discuss some of the issues.
You're governed by a policy board of 9, 4 of whom are players, elected by players. Don't these 4 serve your interests?
Well, Frank, the election is really kind of a misnomer. Those players that are elected are not elected on any basis of their views. They are simply a popularity contest. We get a sheet with the list, the top 125, divided into 25 player categories or 20 player categories, and we vote for, but we don't know what their views are on the issues. We then do not know how they vote in board meetings. Our player director, the independent directors, business directors, are not elected by the players. They choose their own successor. So you have a situation that could work, but it doesn't.
One of the things your group has talked about is getting some kind of minimal appearance fee for everybody who shows up in a tournament but doesn't necessarily make the cut. Up to now, you have to make the cut to make any money. That doesn't seem, at least to me, like a massive issue or a massive economic issue. So why your staff, that upon you, care one way or another?
We have hundreds of millions of dollars in assets. The tournaments generate $300–400 million in revenue off of us. We bring the show to town. And we don't think it's unreasonable that we should be compensated as the professionals that we are. When we bring this show to town and we have a difficult life and we pay off to give these tournaments the opportunity to generate millions and millions of dollars for charity. We don't think it's unreasonable. Our money, we should get some guaranteed expense compensation in whatever form.
It's been correctly pointed out that the players in the big money team sports earn approximately 50% of the gross receipt of their sports. In golf's case, we don't know exactly, but I'd say, it couldn't be more than 20–25%. Is that an issue?
Yes, an issue. I think the percentage that we play for is actually smaller. When you add the 2 pies together, Frank, you have the pie that is the PGA Tour, the tour revenue from licensing, from TPCs, from the TV revenue. You have $350–400 million. The other pie are the tournaments. These 43 or 4 odd tournaments that all generate maybe an average of $7 or $8 million in revenue. So you have a pretty huge pie of $700–800 million there. We have to pay our own way which costs the players 15, 20 million a year collectively. And of that 100 million that we're playing for this year, that makes, so in some very rough calculations, you can say, yes, we play for about 10% of the revenue when a sports organization like basketball or baseball franchise pays their players probably between 50 and 60% of the revenue of that franchise.
Danny Edwards and his friends present a picture of a PGA Tour that's a kind of a closed society that purposely keeps information away from its players. True or false?
Oh, I think that's totally false. I personally don't want the information that they want, but from what I've been told, the information that they want, salary, money distribution, things of this nature, are there to be had.
There's also the accusation that the policy board, your member, doesn't truly represent the players in the broad sense.
Well, I disagree with that also. The policy board is 4 player directors, 4 independent directors, and a PGA of America representative. This group says that we are 4 against 5. Well, that's totally false, because I've been on the board 4 years now. I had a 3-year term and was reelected for 3 more. In my 4 years, I have never had an incident where the vote has been 5-4. It is always unanimous vote. Golf-related items that come up, this policy where the independent directors always defer to the players. Financial, the workings of the business and TV, things of this nature, we defer to the independent directors as our advisors, and that's good enough for me. I trust these guys. I trust their judgment. They are the top of their field.
We're joined now by Curtis Strange, and Curtis, 21 years out there on the PGA Tour. You have seen a lot in that time. Tell me, has the board always done right by the players?
As far as I know, they have. You know, all I can say is I totally trust the board, the independent directors, and what they're doing for the tour. You know, these 4 independent directors give their time and their expertise for us for one reason. They love games, and they're some of the brightest businessmen in their fields, and we're lucky to have them.
Can Commissioner Tim Finch help people all the time?
No, I mean, you know, the players really, they can't get together to decide if it's night or day outside right now, and he's in a difficult position, but you know, again, I totally trust him. We're lucky to have a man like Tighe.
You know, Curtis, in this day and age, it's not about money, but it's all about money.
Well, you know, the one thing that I can see happening, I hope it doesn't happen, because, you know, I think we ought to play for everything we receive out here. That's what sets us apart from all the other sports. How we perform is how we play, or how we get paid. I can see a little stipend for missing the cut. I can do that now, but personally, I think you put that money back into the play for it. I mean, this game out here is survival of the fittest. If you can play, you carry on.
Can anything good come out of this debate?
Possibly. I think it's a bad thing. I really do. Why? Because it's showing the TV networks that paid so much money for these new contracts next year, the sponsors that put up $3, $4, $5, $6 million each week. You know, all the people, the fans that support this tournament, pay their hard-earned money here this week at Milwaukee. It shows that we maybe aren't real appreciative of all their money. Maybe that we're looking maybe a little too greedy, a little too spoiled.
Curtis, you know the adage, united we stand, divided we fall. There's obviously a division here. What about behind the scenes?
It's dividing. This group, Annie and Larry and whoever else is signing up, I don't even know the names, they say they do not want to be divisive. They are becoming divisive. This whole thing is separating people in the locker rooms. I'm not going to say it's a name-calling situation yet, but there's certainly people that aren't speaking to people and things like that. Is not very comfortable in the locker room round.
Okay, thank you very much for your input. Let's go out to 14 and Peter.
Well, to quieter things here at the 14th, Chris Perry for a birdie. And I thought he'd recouped a little on that strike dropped at the last. But no. Now to the 17th. Slumbeck. And, well, a little bit wide. That's not too bad. Sluman, when he's playing well, looks very competent and compact. Doesn't get very hurried. To the 5th.
All right, the green is cleared, so Nolan Hankey is ready to fire away here. His second shot on the par 5.
Well, he hit just a beautiful tee shot, positioned perfectly, 260 yards back to the hole in that left side of the green.
Run it out.
Well, he didn't get all of it. He hit it very low, but it is on a pretty good line if it could run a little. He'll pitch from that hill just short of the green.
15th has yielded 7 eagles. None today.
Nolan Henke had an eagle here yesterday, which was one of the additions to a very good round.
He has 2 62s in his career here, and there is 500 today.
Sluman and Perry also at 15. Calcavecchia coming off a bogey, so he drops 2 back. We'll keep you posted on Nolan and the rest as they head towards 15. Mark Carnevale still very much involved. The pair of 65s are Billy Andrade and Fred Funk. We'll return with more of the Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Miller Lite after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Precision wins. Continental from Lincoln. What a luxury car should be. Remember what it was like before there was overnight mail, voicemail, and email? You actually had time to think.
The Broncos, Monday at 8. Sunday, greed is good. Sound outrageous? Maybe John Stossel makes a shocking case. It may be good for America. Greed, an ABC News special, Sunday.
Well, it's closeout time at your Buick dealer, and you can save a fortune. Choose cash savings of $750 to $2,500. Or take a look at what 09 financing can save you. Buick's 98 closeout. Yes, the time to see your local Buick dealer.
Risk management solutions are the very essence of Willis Caroon. The way risk was managed in the past is not the way it will be managed in the future. To stand still is a slow death. To survive and succeed, you need to prepare. Willis Caroon offers solutions in managing risk, such partners as CNA. For all the commitment, Willis Caroon. Local touch with global reach. We're solving today's problems by planning for the future.
12 Sports total coverage of the GMO tonight at 10:35.
This ABC Sports presentation brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you to enjoy Miller Lite and the complete line of 1998 Lincoln automobiles. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be.
Chris Perry ties for the lead along with Jeff Sluman and Nolan Henke. His tee shot here on 15.
Look how far left he's aiming this ball. Obviously just going to aim it at the right side of that bunker and cut it back to the fairway.
62 yesterday. He says there was a time when he had about 3 holes left. He was thinking about 59. Curtis pointed out if it could be done, this is the course to do it. Ahead to 16.
Kevin Wentworth, an old 29-year-old rookie on tour. This for birdie, this to move to 12 under, and yes, one of 5 lefties out here on tour in 1998. Steve Flesh leading the lefty brigade this year. Kevin Wentworth trying to get himself exempt for next year. Well done. back at 15.
This is Mark Carnevale now, hitting out of some long, hairy stuff, his third shot.
Well, 78 yards, he also drove in that long, hairy stuff, or he could have put the ball very near the green.
And this was a moment ago, and Mark leaves himself with a chance to not have much damage done. And now live, Nolan Henke showed you his second shot. Sort of a low runner that got him here.
Well, just short of the green on the hillside, about 60 feet of green. He should just be able to chase it right up there toward the hole.
Tendency here is to leave it short, though.
Bucking the tendency.
And he is not left with an easy one. Straight down a very fast green. Chris Perry at 15 under par, looking for his first PGA Tour victory, shooting a 9 under 2 yesterday
To get himself in contention for this championship. Nolan Henke, what about him? He also had a 9 under 62 yesterday, and Jeff Sluman 7 under so far on his round today as they share the lead in the third round of the Greater Milwaukee Open.
There's a company out there in the business of moving things. It's not a trucking company. It's not a shipping company. And it doesn't carry packages overnight. It's a company in the business of moving ideas. Be a long distance, wireless, video, internet, directories, and local telephone lines. What's the name of this company? Well, it begins with G, and it ends with GTE. The Lincoln Town Car poses a dilemma for your accountant. Is it travel or entertainment? Lincoln Town Car. What a luxury car should be.
Steve Elkington rises before the sun every day. He hits 100 balls from the tee, 100 from the fairway, 100 from the sand, and 100 on the green. Day after day after day, all with one goal in mind, to someday kick back, retire, and do the thing he really wants to do. Play golf.
Hello.
Bob is the investment firm of the PGA Tour.
What? Swallow bug. You done? Yeah.
The Secret Lives of Men, premiering Wednesday, September 30th.
Welcome back. Nolan Henke's attempt for birdie, as Curtis said, will go downhill, 90th in putting on tour this year. Careful. So from just about 25 yards off of the green, he has a 4-5-footer back up the hill to make par at 18.
557-yard par 5, and Jeff Sluman on the tee.
He has to hit 2 really good ones to get on. Wind coming out of the left just a little bit. And that will make his decision. He will lay up with a 6 or 7 iron and then wedge it on.
Makes that decision a lot easier, doesn't it, Curtis? Well, hang on to your hats, folks. Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Kansas at 8:15. It's the Oakland Raiders, Kansas City Chiefs from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Then Monday night, a new time at 8.
The New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos, Elway against Bledsoe.
NFL football Sunday and Monday night on ESPN and ABC. As we move to 15.
And this is Henke for his par. Straight back up, then in. So Nolan Henke, no days at 15 under par. Here's a look at our leaderboard now. He is tied with Sluman, who will do, as Curtis pointed out, lay up on the 18th hole. Chris Perry also at 15 under. Cal Kvecchia once finished this tournament birdie, 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 eagle. And that was in '94. So there are scoring holes to come for Mark and the others. This is Mark Carnevale, whose name you just saw, also for birdie, and he gets it to drop on 15. Has played consistently all week about the 5th easiest hole. And again, many of them laying up. Lauren Roberts also played this hole, laid up with his third shot with an iron, and was able to convert a birdie as well. Back in the fairway, Chris Perry now.
265 for Chris. Wind out of the right. He's going to have to kill it to get it there. Good looking shot. Aimed a little left, cutting a little.
Seen a lot of balls in the bunker there, Rossi, but the fact is you can see there on the left side of the green there are a bunch of trees, and earlier many players were bailing out in this area here, and that caused some serious problems. This is Cal Kvecchia now, his second shot.
From the same distance, 265.
Go. Nearly. No one takes a rip at it like Cal Kvecchia.
He's fun to watch. He just aims it and rips it, like you say, Carl.
To the 18th.
Second shot at the par 5. Just a layup of a 7 or 8 iron. Possibly the ball came straight up in the air. Just a bit short of the bunker on the right, but he has left himself to very, very difficult third, coming out of the rough to a green that's pretty firm.
Rough to rough, Sluman, as we go back to 17.
Wentworth, his second shot. Kevin Wentworth at 17th, second shot. There's a smooth looking swing from the newcomer. Right on line, and it's a jam. Back to the 15th.
Last of the threesome, and this is Steve Stricker. Yesterday used driver, made eagle. Looks as if he's got the driver in. Veering right. And a good shot for Steve Stricker. Yesterday a 25-footer for eagle. And he finds himself in perfect position. Not only is he a new dad, but he also won the Wisconsin Open last week, so he's been very busy.
And he also has one of the best golf swings on tour. As you see here, because we talked about the trees on the right, aiming a little bit to the left, but when you hit a driver off the fairway, it seems to always fade. I just don't think you square it up as much. You try to help the ball in the air, but as he takes it back, what Steve gets in trouble sometimes, as you saw the club come a little bit too far on the inside. Club a little past parallel, moves back to his left side, stays well under the ball. Beautiful position right there. Finishes in balance on his left side. Steve had a terrible year by his standards last year. Seems to gain some confidence. Worked on a swing very hard. And doing very well. 6 top 10s out of the last 8 weeks. It's pretty doggone good. Almost won the PGA Championship. Finished second behind Vijay Singh.
A look at our leaderboard shows Steve Stricker at even par today, but very much involved. Sluman, Henke, and Perry all at 15. Jeff appears to be in a little bit of the 18th hole.
Now here's ABC golf instruction on the short game with Bob Rosberg.
You have problems with your left hand breaking down with the regular stroke, you might consider giving cross-handed putting a It's much easier to make your left hand go on toward the hole. It's especially good on short putts. So get out on the practice green, hit a few putts this way. See how it feels. Even though you want to putt the other way, you might consider hitting a few practice putts every day before you go out to play, because the cross-handed stroke
gives you the feeling that your left hand is going to keep going toward the hole. I think you'll make a few more putts if you try this method.
How did the manufacturers of shallow-faced fairway woods get the center of gravity so low? Real simple. They just chopped the top off the club head. We found a better way. And we did it without giving up a large, forgiving hitting area. We took weight from the top of the club head and moved it to the bottom. You can't see the lowered center of gravity inside of the new Big Bertha steel head. But you will feel it.
This is Imagine TV.
Why don't you slip into something a little more comfortable?
All right.
With Mercury moving upward as we...
Answer the question,
Okay,
Mr. She was out all night with the Grand Marquis. The Mercury Grand Marquis.
Till next time, imagine yourself in a Mercury.
For the best performances in a starring role, American State's 5-star conservative equity funds. Call 1-800-321-3219.
They call it the Blue Monster. This course is hard enough under perfect conditions. If my muscles are sore, forget it. So before I tee off, my doctor told me to take Advil.
Doctors recommend Advil for muscle pain. They like the way Advil works, right at the site of pain, stopping where it starts.
For my sore muscles, nothing's better. It also works great on headaches.
Advanced medicine for pain.
No accident. Mentoring, job training, counseling. These kinds of programs are keeping kids away from crime. Look around. Kids and teens are staying out of trouble. It takes you and programs that work. Call 1-800-WE-PREVENT for a free booklet and help take a bite out of crime.
Wide World of Sports Studios, I'm John Saunders, updating the home run race. Ruth has company, and Roger Maris is up next. Mark McGwire, in his first at bat today, Dennis Reyes. He's come to the plate 2 other times and struck out once on 3 pitches, just the same. He now hits 60, and Roger Maris just 1 away to become the all-time king. Sammy Sosa plays later tonight. In college football, good one between Syracuse and Tennessee. Donovan McNabb having an outstanding day. Tosses this one 17 yards to Kevin Johnson. Goes in for the touchdown. They go for the 2-point conversion, do not get it. So a 5-point lead now for Tennessee as a 2-yard touchdown run in the game. Donovan McNabb, how about 20 of 24 for 219 yards, opening the eyes of the Heisman voters early on in this one. Alabama Birmingham against Nebraska. Bobby Newcomb, the quarterback for Nebraska, not playing in the game because of a bad knee. The freshman Eric Crouch with a touchdown pass there, 21-7 the lead. Don't forget, later today right here on ABC, following the golf, Joe Paterno looking for career win number 299. It'll be tough going up against Southern Miss. And then Michigan State against Oregon. Michigan State coming off a loss last week to Colorado State. Some you will see Boston College against Georgia Tech. Joe Hamilton having a great season last year, looking to pick up on that. And Oklahoma State against Kansas. Hokie State coming off a bowl appearance. We'll see at 3:30 Eastern time. Right now, back to the golf and Roger Twibel.
Thank you very much, John. Third shot for Jeff Sluman here at the par 5 18th.
And the only thing makes a shot a little easier is the flag stick is all the way in the back of the green.
Oh, terrific bounce there for Sluman. And so Jeff currently it's under on his round. Will have a birdie opportunity to get to 8 under and alone at the top of the leaderboard at 16 as we move to the 15th hole.
And Steve Stricker's attempt for eagle. Again, he had one yesterday. And comes up about 4 feet short. Steve's second on the tour in putts per round, so he has had the blading all year and chronicled his success so far this year. Chris went into the bunker and left himself with this for birdie.
Not the best of bunker shots, but I think a lot of that was he was protecting against going long. He knows if he hits it by the hole, he's much chance of making it. Here he's left it some 15 feet short, straight up the hill, a little left to right. Can give it a aggressive hit.
Top 25s in his last 11 starts, and this to grab the lead.
Chris walks away with par and a little look of frustration to 17.
Kevin Wentworth for a birdie. Oh. Well, it looked good, but didn't drop. One of 5 left-handers on the tour. Up to the 18th.
And this is Jeff Sluman surveying this birdie putt at the 18th. Sluman lost a playoff at Memphis earlier this year to Nick Price. Jeff now 0 for 4 in his career in playoffs. This to get sole possession of the lead at 16 under.
Yes! From the rough to the rough to through the rough, Curtis will make birdie.
When things are going your way and you end up shooting 3, you have to have breaks like that, and you have to hit good shots like that. 3 mediocre shots and 1 good putt equals a birdie.
So the 8 under 63 for Sluman gets him to 16 under.
When you play well and you shoot a score, your speed is always so perfect coming around the hole, and that's the only reason this ball falls in. It dies right there.
Sluman, a PGA champion and a winner in Tucson last year after a long dry spell, has got himself right atop the leaderboard in the 3rd round of this Greater Milwaukee Open, presented by Miller Lite.
And you said earlier, Roger, that it's a very good golf course for Lou. It's not a long golf course. He's not the longest hitter. It's important to put it in the fairway. Doesn't have a whole lot of long irons. Can reach a couple of the par 5s.
And a big purse this week, $1.8 million, $324,000 to the winner, and that would get Jeff well into the top 30 for the Tour Championship. As we move out to 15.
And a moment ago, Steve Stricker. Eagle yesterday on 15.
No one has a bigger crowd following him today than the Wisconsin native Steve Stricker, who gets the birdie and now moves to 1 under on the day. 4 behind the leader. Immediately after Steve, Mark Calcavecchia stepped up 3 foot up the hill. All net for Calc, and he also now at 14 under par. Very attractive leaderboard. And now to 16 is Steve Stricker.
Tee shot here, played with a long iron by most of these players. As Curtis said, it's about 210 to carry that right-hand bunker, so you like to fit it between the right and left-hand bunkers.
Definitely want to play short of the left-hand bunker. It gets very narrow, Steve.
When Stricker quit worrying about mechanics, his rhythm got a lot better. Last year, it was one swing thought after another, and the result was a confused player whose winnings reflected that problem with mechanics. 4th on the money list in 96, and he drops to 130th last year, but he's back now. And now Calc.
Wind coming out of the left. Calcavecchia has to watch that just a little because he tends to cut it anyway. Every shot, as we talked about earlier, the wind will just accentuate that cut.
Actually slowed down his routine, and with it, he slowed down his takeaway. The result, he said, hitting the ball a lot straighter. Perry. Rossi's got kind of an unusual setup. It's almost like he's on top of the ball and playing a little fade, which is a little different here.
On top of it and very open, a lot more than I remember him being.
Almost looks like he's trying to trap the ball by staying on top of it. Shoulder slightly open, ball back in his stance. High finish would lead you to believe it's going left to right.
Go tied.
Whatever the method, it's working nicely. Well, we've sort of chronicled the problems. Was 1995. He was sort of a good player in the making. 96 was a breakout year for Steve with 2 wins, 7 top 10s, 4th on the money list. Last year, it was a case of bad mechanics. Only 1 top 10, 130th on the money list. This year, freer mind, better swing, 18th on the money list, and threatening to go higher this week. And what a nice, quality young man. It's one of those, if you're a mother, you'd love to have him for your son-in-law, and he is truly a role model for the youth here in Wisconsin. Spends a lot of time with kids. Went to the University of Illinois, but came back in the Madison area where he lives now with wife Nikki. And now at the green, this is Hinkie for Shade. Just not hard enough. Lost it low. As we take a look at our leaderboard, we will return with more of the Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Miller Lite after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Like most women, the tragedy of heart disease took me by surprise. When my mother died of a heart attack, she was only 52 years old. Heart disease is the #1 killer of American women, and 1 out of every 2 women will have serious heart trouble in her lifetime, but it can be prevented. Find out what you can do so that heart disease doesn't take you by surprise.
Most of my shifts is spent chasing down reckless drivers.
4! Step away from the tee box.
They're thinking they forget control. License the scorecard, please. Let's go. These are very dangerous people.
Put the driver down.
Stay out of trouble. Try the new Ping ISI titanium driver. Extra distance, extra control.
Now that's a powerful driver. Getting out of ball on 14. You're a loose cannon, pal.
Joe Paterno leads Penn State against Southern Miss. Don't miss the Nittany Lions and Oak next on ABC.
God, help me.
Oh, yeah.
The all-new season of Home Improvement is gonna be well, you know.
Yes, ma'am. Right away, ma'am. Uh-oh. Better get going.
When the unexpected happens, get Maaco's Ambassador Paint Service for $199.95.
Are you concerned about losing more? Do you wonder how much further it will go? Do you wish you could do something about it? Well, now there's a pill for men with certain types of hair loss. Introducing Propecia. In clinical studies, the vast majority of men, 83%, maintain their current hair count, and most, 66%, lose some hair. Take it daily and you could see results in as little as 3 months. Propecia is for men only. A small number of men experience certain sexual side effects. Each occurred in less than 2%. Women who are or may potentially be pregnant must not use it or handle broken tablets because of the risk of a specific kind of birth defect. Talk to your dentist and read the consumer information they can provide. Propecia, helping make hair loss history.
12 Sports total coverage of the GMO tonight at 10:35.
You're watching the PGA Tour on ABC Sports.
Second shot for Mark Calcavecchi at 16.
40 yards. Little 9-iron.
Come back. There's a little hill there. Very nicely played. Couch is 2 out of the lead now, held by Jeff Sluman. Now Stricker.
decent lie in the rough, 130 yards.
Well played. So Stricker making a late move here with the birdie back at 15 rather. And before these two played, it was Chris Perry with his second.
Chris playing out of a divot. It's at the correct end of the divot, at least the green side end of the divot, from 142 yards.
Just has to put this ball back in its stance a little bit and beat down right on top of it. Make sure you hit the ball first.
It's amazing how much better you concentrate when you have a lie like that. 218.
And the third shot for the lefty, Kevin Wentworth, who in 1991 won the NCAA title with Oklahoma State University. But Curtis, it's taken him a while to get out here.
It has, and I think it's interesting to see we have 5 left-handed players on tour now, and personally I think the reason is because parents and teachers aren't changing them always to play right-handed these days, and to play on which side that they best perform on. And that's a beautiful golf swing right there.
And a good result. So Wentworth will have that putt for birdie at the 18th hole. Last 6 years he played over on the Asian and Japanese tours, and in 90 the NCAA champ at Oklahoma State, native of Modesto, California. And joining me right now is the man who leads this third after a 8 under par 63, and that is Jeff Sluman. Jeff, you got off to a quick start today. Birdies at 2, 3, 4, and 6. You hitting it close, or were you making some long putts?
Actually, I made one long one on the par 3 third hole, but besides that, I hit it relatively close on the other 3 holes.
This was an exciting day for you. Your young 4.5-month-old daughter, Catherine, came out to make the stroll around the course for the first time with Dad.
Yes, she did, and she was good. She slept most of the way, as you would expect, and when she was awake, she wasn't screaming, so I was very relieved of that.
Yeah. Are you kind of conscious of she's making any noise, or?
I'm leaving it up to my wife to stay far enough ahead of us to make sure that she doesn't scream a little bit, that you know, we're not going to hear it.
You had a top 10 finish at the U.S. Open this year, which was really good. Third at Colonial, and then you lost the playoff to Nick Price at Memphis. How do you feel about your game this summer?
I think it's come around very well. I've practiced real hard on some things that obviously I've needed to do, and my putting and chipping has been much better. Tony Navarro helped me out with that when he came back on the bag for a couple months. That.
Okay, let's go out to 14 with you, and you can watch that swing. Jeff, at the par 3, we got your tee shot right here. I think like that noise, too. It's nice. Got a very compact swing, don't you?
I do. I always hate to watch it on video because I think it's terrible.
Oh, no.
But it's
good
others pretty good, but I never really like to see it on.
And you rolled in that putt for birdie there at 14. Now at the par 5, 15.
That's a big swing, and it's extremely fast. I left it above the hole, which I didn't want to do, so I thought I had made this one, actually.
It looked good about there, didn't it?
It's real good.
But you didn't have to think much about the next putt.
No, that was all right.
Yeah. Now, 18, you hit it in the rough off the tee. You hit it in the rough with your second shot. Now you're third.
I was actually in a little divot there, which I think helped me out quite a bit, where I didn't have to worry about it flying, and I just kind of try to hit it straight up in the air, and
nice bounce.
Very fortunate.
Yeah, nice bounce there. And now this squiggly one for birdie.
Ah, look good the whole way, didn't it?
So you don't like to watch your swing? You don't like to sort of analyze it too much?
No, a long time ago I used to bring a video out, and I never found anything that I truly liked about my swing, and it was the old paralysis by analysis, you know, and I think I really goofed myself up worse than anything. So if anybody's looking for a 1980s circa video cam, I've got one.
Jeff, you know, obviously this is a tough game to play for a living, and it becomes, I think, in a way, when you have a family now and you have a young daughter, your wife's a doctor, you're both very busy. How is this all working out for you now? Are you finding all the time that you need?
Yeah, we're finding as much time as we can, and you know, I just want to continue what I do, and my wife does, for a little bit longer in the future. Maybe I'm not really crazy about the senior tour yet, but Curtis swears when I get close to 50, I'll think about the senior tour. But I just want to try and continue what I'm doing right now for the next 4 or 5 years.
I just want to know how you're doing with the diapers.
Great.
Oh, perfect. Glad to hear it. Let's go out to Steve. Jeff, thank you very much.
All right, Roger. Now this is Chris Perry for a birdie and a share of the lead. Yes, sir. So it is Sluman and Perry at 16 under. Hinkie one back. And now Steve Stricker for his birdie. This was moments ago. So back-to-back birdies for Mr. Stricker. Ooh, and that was a par putt for Mark Calquebec. He only had about 12 feet above the hole. He has struggled all year with his putting, of 130th, I believe, on the tour in putting, and that seems to reflect the problems for Mark. Tee to green, he has been superb and can't seem to buy a putt. So Perry with a birdie moves to 16 under. Stricker with a birdie moves to 13 under. The rest of this very impressive field here at the Greater Milwaukee Open, presented by Miller Lite. What a wonderful job they do here for the players in Milwaukee. It's really kind of a community run event. Has a nice feel to it as we go out to 17.
Now on tape, here was Nolan Hinkie at the 17th. Looks to be tight against the tree.
Well, he was, but he had a shot left of the tree trunk, had to hit a big cut. From 139 yards.
Oh, firm green through the back. Greens have firmed up a lot under the sun and a little bit of breeze. Now, here's the third shot.
Well, it did better than I thought it might. The ball seemed to climb up the face of the club, almost as if he'd played underneath it. Good job it was downhill. He's still got a chance for his par. Up to the 18th.
And this was Kevin Wentworth for birdie at the par 5.
From the same line Jeff Sluman was just on, just about dead straight. Yeah, look to turn just a little bit to his right.
7 birdies and 3 bogeys on his round today. So Wentworth with a 3 under 68 after a 65 yesterday. Good playing by Kevin Wentworth, the left-hander, as Jeff Sluman and Chris Perry share the lead in this third round of the Greater Milwaukee Open, presented by Miller Lite.
Hey, who's that?
Oh, she's here to meet with the big guys.
On a weekend?
Mm-hmm. Canceled her 2 times.
She must be a big client.
I think it's their life insurance agent.
Huh. That's a new one.
Have you heard from the Quiet Company? Northwestern Mutual Life.
This is Imagine TV.
Mind stepping under the Grand Marquis, sir?
Is there a problem, officer?
Huh? Just want to take it for a spin. Want a donut?
Mercury moving upward as we...
Answer the question,
Okay,
Mr. Smith.
she wasn't with me. She was out all night with the Grand Marquis.
Mercury Grand Marquis.
Till next time, imagine yourself in a Mercury.
We argue all the time as to who has the better lawn. They're all envious for my Scott lawn, definitely. Scott does it for all three of us.
Now, during the summer, my grass takes a beating.
A heavy sun, droughts.
What the grass needs is turf builder.
About September, I put on a turf builder.
It pumps it up, it rejuvenates.
Gives it that extra punch for the roots. You gotta feed it.
That's beautiful lawn. Look at that.
Look at thick.
Nice and green.
It's thick, flush. Fall is the best time of year to put down Scott's turf builder.
New evidence. All toothpastes, even regular Crest, Colgate, and Mentadent, leave plaque on your teeth every day. They can be too coarse to penetrate microscopic crevices where plaque and deep stain collect. New evidence. Arm & Hammer Dental Care, the only formula with a high level of baking soda, is better at cleaning plaque away. It dissolves so fine it penetrates crevices where deep stain builds. Teeth are clean and white every day. Arm & Hammer. Evidence. Plaque clean, white clean. Arm & Hammer.
Welcome to Mimi's World.
I want to sexually harass you.
My water just broke. Well, step back. These are new shoes.
There's only one Mimi. Drew Carey, ABC Wednesdays at 9, 8 Central.
Well, welcome back, and while you were away, this was Henke for his par at the 17th. Oh, it didn't. And that makes you cross. He drops a shot there. A shortish par 4, drive off the fairway, through the green, 3 from the edge. Not good. When you sum it all up at the end of the day, it's the simple errors like that, or seemingly the simple errors, that are the most expensive.
I want to remind you, coming up tomorrow live at 4 Eastern right here on ABC Sports, we'll bring you final round coverage of the Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Miller Lite. Of course, Vijay Singh is in the field, PGA champion, but Jeff Sluman and Chris Perry share the lead right now, and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker not far behind. Join us tomorrow at 4 Eastern as we go back to Peter Allis, the much appreciated, I might add, Peter Allis at 17.
Your check's in the post. Here we go back to the 17th and the final threesome.
Heard the word 46. That's 146 yards to carry the bunker. 160 to the hole. He laid way back here. Must have hit a 4 or 5 iron off this tee.
Rossi, he has a tendency to do that. When he lays up, sometimes he goes too far back.
Yeah, this is pretty far back. You know, this is kind of a birdie hole today. And now he's left himself probably a 6 iron in here, maybe a hard 7.
I know you want to put it in the fairway, but you can't give up that much yardage.
Hey there. Be right.
When a man's in a 6 iron, Rossi, and the other man's in a 9 iron, I'm betting on the 9 iron most every time.
Yeah, I'd have to lay about 9, 10 to 1. He's going to get closer.
See, Perry comes very much from a baseball playing family, and I wondered if his uncle and his father thought, oh, that boy, fancy going to golf.
126.
Stricker now.
22-26 at the crest.
22-26 up there. Get it up out of the sand, son. Give it a good smack onto the green.
That's a beautiful lie in the bunker. Has 125 yards. Wind slightly behind. Not blowing very hard, though.
You can see the track of the ball just ends, and the sand will be just piled around the ball. So this must be a precise strike. Oh, look good. Yes, right over the flag. Beautiful direction. Beautiful shot. Very precise strike indeed. Now Calcavecchia.
He took a driver off this hole. Has about 80 yards into the hole.
So a huge divot flies. Bite. Yes.
He plays a lot on emotion. The driver off that tee was probably strictly because he three-putted the hole before. Sometimes it gets him in trouble. There, puts him in shape to make birdie.
Up to the 80.
Third shot here at the par 5 for John McGinnis, who has himself at 12 under, 2 under on his round today. John, who is third on the Nike Tour money list, is playing just his 5th PGA Tour event of the year, but Curtis in 4 previous PGA events, he's won $118,000. So when he's got the opportunity, he's made the most of it.
He's been doing well. He's been playing well. This is a delicate little shot. Just a sand wedge. Bump it in there. Put it back in the middle of your stance. And very nicely done.
Look at the mud on that ball, too. Rolling up there. So McGinnis will have that for birdie to get to 13 under. His career low round, by the way, right here at Brown Deer in 96, a 8 under 63. The bogey and the birdie, and then the birdie at the 7th, and then one more birdie on the backside. So we move back to the tee at 18, and Nolan Hankey.
Well, he's known for his good tempo. It is A1 today.
And there you can see the one place you do not want it is to the right. There's a grove of trees that you can get into and then have no chance at all of getting on into.
So Hankey off the bogey at 17 is 2 back as we move to that 17th hole.
Chris Perry, first to putt. Lumen and Perry tied for the lead at 16 under par. Hankey next at 14. We saw Kakabecki's ball spin back down the green, so this is pretty speedy down the hill. Little bit of swing. Quite a long putt too. These you've got to have a bit of good fortune for these to fall in, particularly when there's a slope and speed. This for the lead. Very good putt. Say 4. Stays at 16 under.
Jeff Sluman and Chris Perry, both at 16 under, share the lead in the 3rd round of this Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Miller Lite. And of course, we told you earlier in our telecast that Chip Beck, after 48 starts without making a cut, made the cut here this week. Rounds of 69, 68, shot a 73 today, but he finished with 2 birdies.
For all walks of life. For a free catalog, call 1-800-235-2348.
Somewhere in the world, a player is standing over a putt worth $300,000. Far away, another player is standing over a putt worth $1. And yet, oddly enough, the beads of perspiration on their foreheads are exactly the same size. Never underestimate the power of a good putter.
Never before has so much technology and information been available to mankind.
Never before has mankind been so utterly confused. The Lincoln Town Car poses a dilemma for your accountant. Is it travel or entertainment? Lincoln Town Car. What a luxury car should be.
Alan Edmonds, for all walks of life. For a free catalog, call 1-800-235-2348.
Well, we were gone local hero here, 17th, coming down the hill for a birdie. Softly, softly. Happy days are here again. They love their golf in this state. More people per head of population play golf in Wisconsin than any other state in the United States of America. There's a little snippet for you. Now Calcavecchia, he's just got a little bit of swing on this. Well done. Up to the 18th.
And John McGinnis, this putt for birdie. So John McGinnis with the birdie at 18. Round of 3 under 68 and on his way to yet another very good tournament. Just his 5th PGA event of the year. 3rd on the Nike Tour money list. A winner at the Dakota Dunes Open, which is one of the big money events on the Nike Tour.
By being 3rd on the money list, so it means he is on his way back out on PGA Tour. By he will finish in the top 15, which automatically gets you back out. And we'll be back here to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The 3rd round of the Greater Milwaukee Open presented by Miller Lights with Sluman and Perry sharing the lead.
Please, don't drive drunk.
When it's time to clean your outside windows, does the job seem this big? Next time, try new Windex Outdoor. Just aim, spray, and rinse. Windex Outdoor's concentrated formula and sheeting action dissolve tough outdoor grime to get windows clean. No buckets, no ladders, no aggravation. Bring a big job down to size with new Windex Outdoor. A beautiful shine, a lot less time.
David Duval, Mark O'Meara, Steve Elkington, Jeff Maggart. In the last year, they've won over $5 million on the PGA Tour. Fortunately, they're investing it wisely. Schwab is the investment firm of the PGA Tour.
The Greater Milwaukee Open, presented by Miller Lite. This ABC Sports presentation brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that every Miller Lite is sold ready to drink. Edge Pro Gel, lose the foam, save your skin. American Century Investments. And GTE. Do you have an idea we can take someplace? GTE, we're people moving ideas.
On the tee at the par 5 18th, Chris Perry, our co-leader at 16 under. And again, you can see set up to hit a huge cut.
Come on, Wynn.
Wind coming out of the left, and you heard him beg for it to go to the right, but not enough. We've got college football coming up next here on ABC Sports, so we will not be able to bring this final group all the way in. Well, the Buckeyes, huh? Yeah, there it goes.
Ain't no Mountaineers down there. We're going to kick them.
An Abbott.
Everybody back home?
Ohio State Buckeyes.
low out here.
Dad Jim Perry, Uncle Gaylord Perry, as we move now to Nolan Hankey, his third shot.
65 yards. Just a very little swing with the sand wedge.
Judy almost too close to the flag.
Yeah, it almost seemed to hit a hard spot, Curtis. He looked for it to spin back, and it just kept going forward.
Well, we've seen some low scores here this week, Curtis. We've seen 362s. We've seen some 63s. You got to figure on Sunday somebody's going to go out and throw one of those numbers at this course, huh?
Whoever's leading this golf tournament, Jeff Sluman, Chris Perry, at the end of the day, has to expect they got to go out and shoot at least 68, I think, because somebody from the pack will shoot a low score. You have to anticipate that when you're leading this golf tournament.
Who do you like as you look at the leaderboard?
I like the two guys leading. I really go out on a limb. I like Slew. He's been playing well all summer long. Chris Perry has been there a few times, but not as many. Calc is dangerous, as we talked about all day. He plays with emotion. If he gets it in the fairway, he can make a lot of birdies.
Calcavecchia, 18 consecutive Greater Milwaukee Opens. And, of course, you can't discount Steve Stricker. You know, the baby was born on Monday. He had a 63 earlier, finishing strong right now. So that's the way it stands in the third round of our Greater Milwaukee Open, presented by Miller Lite, with Sluman and Perry tied for the lead at the moment at 16 under par. This concludes our third round coverage of this 1998 Greater Milwaukee Open, presented by Miller Lite. Please join us tomorrow for final round coverage at 4 Eastern Time. Now we're going to send you back to our ABC Wide World of Sports studio in New York and our host, John Saunders. John?
Roger, thanks a lot. More golf tomorrow from Milwaukee, but first a reminder, coming up next on ABC's college football regional coverage, Joe Paterno looking for career win number 299. It'll be tough against Southern Miss.
Cedric Irvin in Michigan State trying to bounce back from a loss to Colorado State. They will face Oregon. Joe Hamilton in Georgia Tech. He's had a terrific career there, 151 straight pass attempts without an interception. They'll face Boston College. Some of you will see Oklahoma State coming off a terrific year, quarterback Tony Lindsay, and they will face Kansas. That's coming up next on ABC College Football. Mark McGuire did hit a homer in his first at bat today against Cincinnati. Cincinnati had been the only team he had not homered against. He now is 60, struck out the next 3 times he came to the plate. Sammy Sosa plays later on tonight. Syracuse and Tennessee, what a battle this one has been. Syracuse just won ahead on a field goal by Nathan Trout. Donovan McNabb with a terrific game in this one in his opener, going for the Heisman Trophy. And we will see you at halftime. Football next.
Promotional consideration provided by National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Bowl Championship Series.
I'm a having
Pull your tires in your drinking. I'm allergic to my own sweat.
Paul's only on Spin City, ABC Tuesdays, 9, 8 Central. This is Imagine TV.
You are late for the sale. My dog ate my Mercury.
There's no excuse not to save big during the return of the Great Mercury 10 event. Drive Mercury Stable with 0.9 APR financing for up to 48 months and $750 cash back. Or choose Mercury Mystique with 0.9 APR. It's the model year-end clearance at the Great Mercury 10 event.
Aja. Till next time, imagine yourself in a Mercury.
We all want to retire financially secure. And at BC Ziegler & Company, we know what it takes to retire successfully. We've helped generations of investors build their retirement income for a brighter future. One of the ways is tax-exempt investing. We'll help you discover the keys to keeping more of what your investments earn through tax-exempt bonds. BC Ziegler & Company. Find out the Ziegler Advantage with tax-exempt income. Call 1-800-558-1776 for the office nearest you.
Well, it's closeout time at your Buick dealer, and you can save a fortune. Choose cash savings of $750 to $2,500. Or take a look at what 09 financing can save you. Buick's 98 closeout. Yes, now's the time to see your local Buick dealer.
Pick 4 live nightly at 6:29 only on WISN 12.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series and the National Championship game. moments ago inside the Oregon locker room. Coach Mike Bellotti and his players get fired up for the Big Ten.
Michigan State arrives in the Northwest with the powerful running back, Cedric Irvin. The 10, the 5, goal line, touchdown, LSU!
Oregon linebacker Peter Sirmon, the Pac-10's leader in tackles last year, puts his reputation on the line against Irvin and the Big Ten.
You are looking live at sold-out Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. The Oregon Ducks of the Pac-10 host the once-beaten Michigan State Spartans of the Big Ten. Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. It's a very angry Michigan State team here today. They blew a 16-point lead in the first half a week ago against Colorado State. And coming up for them, Notre Dame and Michigan. Meanwhile, alongside me, one of the greatest Ducks of all time. Dan Fouts, wearing your alumni green, I see.
Well, Michigan State wears green, too, today. Brent, this used to be a two-quarterback system for the Oregon Ducks. It's one now. Achilles Smith is the main man. Now for Michigan State, Bill Burke will take over. He'll be the guy. We will see Ryan Van Dyke a little bit in the second quarter. Of course, Saban said that last week. The key, though, for Michigan State, Cedric Irvin.
Great game going on in Syracuse between Tennessee and the Orangemen. John Saunders with details coming up on ABC.
People ask me what's the market going to do 2 years from now, 5 years from now. I say, I really don't know. I really don't know. But I think companies' profits will be higher in the future. Companies are working very hard out there to invent new products, to improve the quality of their service. I believe they'll be making more money 10 years from now and 20 years from now. When people really get worried, they ought to go to the playground and look at 6-year-olds. They don't know what's happening to money supply. They don't know what's happening to interest rates. So you really shouldn't worry about what happens this week or tomorrow or the day after. I mean, the world will be fine.
Visit our website or call your advisor.
Put to the test, America's most trusted lives up to its name. Die Hard. What's under your hood?
Everybody has imagined the home of their dreams. But at State Farm, we dream about a house that looks great from the inside. One strong enough to survive a hurricane or other natural disaster. That's why we helped found the Institute for Business and Home Safety, a research and education group determined to strengthen building materials and building codes. Because at State Farm, we think the most beautiful kind of home will always be the one that's still standing.
Let me tell you a story about the trucks that never sleep.
Got an early one, huh?
I better fill it up. It's the tough new line of Ford F-Series. With over 50 different models to custom fit the job. That's more than anyone else. And they all come with power you can count on. They're like some trusty sidekick in an old Western. Except this movie never ends.
See you tomorrow.
You can count on it. The Ford F-Series. The most powerful, most complete line of trucks ever built Ford top.
Welcome back to New York. I'm John Saunders. Out to your kickoff in just a moment. First, let's update that Major League home run race. Mark McGwire was at it again today. In his first at bat, he hit number 60 off Dennis Reyes. He struck out the next 3 times he came to the plate, so right now stuck on 60. Sammy Sosa at 57. Ruth at 60, of course, and Maris at 61, very much in sight. Tennessee and Syracuse, a terrific battle. We'll talk more about this one at halftime. Donovan McNabb with a terrific day, but right now your kickoff. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at the half.
All right, John, thank you very much, and certainly keep us up to date on what happens if the Orangemen close out. They've got a big game against Michigan next week. The Ducks have won the flip, and they will go on offense right away. So Paul Ettinger with the ball on the tee for the Michigan State Spartans in their traveling white on a beautiful, somewhat humid afternoon. Bobby Nero and Michael Fletcher are back deep.
Booming kick drives Fletcher deep out of the end zone and will come out on the 20-yard line, and that will allow us to meet the Chili's starting lineup. So let's begin with the offense. Ruben Drones, the JC transfer, the ballyhooed one, number 22, will be the featured running back behind this wide receiver group that has a dandy. At number 5, Damon Griffin, who returns after missing all of last season. The offensive line, can they hold up today? Aguirre over there at the tackle spot must block Robert Smith. Keep an eye on that all game long. This is an undersized offensive line by Big Ten standards. Offset with Latimer, the offset back. Achilles looks for him out in the flat, and he overthrows him. It'll be 2nd and 10. So here is Achilles Smith, and he will be facing this defensive line with something to prove today. Robert Smith and friends. Well, Colorado State put it to him late in East Lansing with that big touchdown by McDougal. So Robert, Mike Austin, he's the leading tackler. And the young corner, Ronaldo Hill, can he hold up today? Certainly no question about Amp Campbell. Here is Drones, no gain, and Michigan State immediately puts Oregon in 3rd and 10.
Jeff Tedford, the offensive coordinator for Oregon, has these goals coming into the game. 40% on 3rd down efficiency. That is a high number. But last year, the Ducks were outstanding on 3rd down, converting 46% of the time. Of course, when they get in that red zone, they won't settle for anything less than 9 out of 10.
And let's see what they come up with here on 3rd and 10. They offset the fullback to the left. 2 wideouts, both out to Achilles Smith left. He's going to roll in that direction. Good strong arm, and he has got Tony Hartley for the first down. Hitting for a huge 15-yard gain on 3rd and 10, the first big play of this football game.
Two important things that Oregon did that time is they double-teamed Robert Smith, rolled Achilles Smith out behind that blocking, and then he showed off that strong arm. Watch the block there, left side of the screen on Smith, and Drones helps out as well. All the time in the world to throw, and they like the way this guy throws outside of the pocket. So they come up now to the 35-yard line for a first down. Conventional eye with a slot man, and they're going without a tight end. Movement by the defensive front first. But they're claiming that the Oregon offensive line threw them offside. The umpire in there with the linesman. This is a Pac-10 crew here today. And it was against the defense. There was movement on the left side of the defensive front as the tackle jumped in there and made contact. Saban asking for a clarification on that far sideline over there and gets it. But it'll be 1st and 5 for the Ducks now. This their opening drive of the football game. Achilles Smith, 6'3", 220, very good mobility and stronger than a lot of people think. He'll break a lot of tackles for him. Chris Young, the fullback, enters the play late as they continue to substitute. 1st and 5. 3 wideouts and a fullback in the formation for Smith. Looking option, pitches back down to Drones. Drones has got a lane. Drones with the first down. Drones crosses midfield and hammers to the 45.
As far as Michigan State's defensive coordinator Chris Hodge is concerned, he has these goals coming into the ballgame. The big thing here is trying to hold Oregon under 3 yards per rush. That'll force them to throw. But interesting, in the red zone, we've got a 20% discrepancy here. But if Michigan State can hold them 7 out of 10, they've really done a good job. Oregon marches into state territory. Their 3rd first down. Drive began back on the 20. From the 45, Willie fires hard, complete. Just inside the 40-yard line, and you can see the strength of his arm as he rocketed that ball into the hands of Donald Haynes from San Diego. And, of course, Achilles is from San Diego. Dan, I got to tell you, watching Smith in practice, he reminds me of Tony Banks. Michigan State fans know exactly what I'm talking about. The great size, the downfield arm, and both are from San Diego. Well, and if Achilles had half the success in college that Tony had at East Lansing, Oregon's got something special there. So we got a 2nd down and 4. The freshman running back, Herman Ho Ching,
checks into that backfield. He's the tailback. He's supposed to be a whiz. Here he comes, picks his way for a couple of yards and no more. Torrey Canoe, the safety, jump in there to clean up after he's been stopped by the middle of that Spartan defense. So this will leave them with a third down and about 3 yards to go for a first down. The ball has been spotted at the 38.
And we're seeing Oregon change their offense, change their personnel a great deal. So far, we've seen Smith throw on the play action, a controlled rollout, and then a quick 3-step drop. All this is designed is to take heat off the quarterback and prevent the Michigan State front four from zeroing in on the pocket.
They go to the one back. Drones is offset just to Smith's right. Short drop, fires drone drop. Should have had a handle on that one, and it would have been close to a first down, and this will put them in a fourth down situation.
Again, it's a quick 3-step drop by Achilles Smith. A good ball out here to Drones, and he just dropped it. That's his first attempt. And interesting, Oregon's going to go for it now on 4th and 3, Brett.
Let's see what they favor here, Dan. Drones brought the play in. Chris Young, the fullback.
2 wides. Michigan State chose bump and run.
Smith's going to look long. Going to fire. Hardly got it. First down inside the 20-yard line. Against one-on-one coverage. They went to the Spartan right side of the defense.
Little play action, half roll again, moving the pocket for Achilles Smith. It's a perfect throw. Hartley with the foot just getting down. Gets a little bit of a shove on the way out, but clearly inbounds. First down.
They got Newsom one-on-one on that coverage for a 20-yard gain, and now they're in the red zone. Oregon's first possession. Drones follows Young. Young couldn't clear it out. Drones step back outside before. Oregon's going to get him outside, and that is Ho Ching. Let me check that. It is their backup running back. Ho Ching, the ball carrier that time,
showing a little zip to the outside. This is what the coaches like, Dan. Here's that 4th down conversion for Oregon. Excellent protection as they're, again, double-teaming Robert Smith. The one-on-one coverage on the outside as Hartley beats Newsom.
They show 2nd and 4, but it's actually closer to 2nd and 3 as you look down from high above. They're inside the 15-yard line. Coaching again. No crease on the left side of that defensive front for the first down.
Ho Ching is a true freshman, and he's getting first taste of major college football, as is Ruben Drones. So we got 2 tailbacks. Oregon started the fall with 6 tailbacks. They've had a number of injuries. Kevin Parker, Darren Latimer. And so you got 2 guys never played at this level before, performing pretty good this first drive. And here comes another 3rd down for Oregon. This one 3rd and 3. Damon Griffin, number 5, goes off at the bottom of your screen. He's that wide man at number 5. See him back off into that flanker spot. Very dangerous.
Smith looks outside, fires, deflected, incomplete. Hartley, the intended receiver on that slant to the goal line. And here comes a 4th down again for the Ducks. And this time, Dan, are they going to decide to go for the field goal with Villegas?
Yeah, I think that's a good call here. They've proven their point with going for it on 4th and 3. But what's interesting about that 4th down conversion on the pass is that Oregon's defense, if they don't convert it, they're really in bad field position. They give Michigan State great field position to start their offensive series. Ball is going to be spotted at the 18, so it'll be a 28-yard attempt. The punter is the holder, Josh Bidwell, and the punter puts it down on its way. And Villegas, who won the kicking job the last week of practice, puts Oregon ahead on its first drive. They settle for a field goal inside the red zone. Oregon leads Michigan State, and the key play was the 4th down conversion. Smith getting one-on-one with a safety. Made it, and Oregon leads it by a field goal.
Hey, can you play Macarena? Yeah, would you play Smoking Broken Heart? Hey, man, my girl left me. Could you send out a tune?
I want my baby back, 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 baby back.
I want my baby.
Give me baby back wheel.
Easy to score. I got my baby back wheel. Rogaine Extra Strength works for 4 out of 5 men.
What do you mean works?
Regrows hair, or at least stops hair loss.
With my luck, I'll be that 5th guy.
Probably not. But here's our guarantee. Give Rogaine Extra Strength an honest chance. You be the judge. It stops hair loss, or regrows hair, more hair, thicker hair, faster, or we give your money back. Guaranteed. Rogaine Extra Strength works for you, or your money back.
I can't lose.
So, what'll it take for you to buy this car today? Buying this SUV today or not? I want you to drive out. I want you to walk out of here with this. Just for you, I got a great idea. What I'm going to do? I'm going to talk to my boss. My supervisor. We're going to have a deal, right?
Log on to AutoVitel.com. Arm yourself with dealer invoice and retailer's prices. Choose and make any model. No hassles, no haggling, low prices. AutoVitel.com. We're changing the way America buys cars.
Michael Madsen, Vengeance Unlimited, ABC Tuesday, September 29th.
Dan Katz handles the kicking off duty for the Oregon Ducks. Back deep, Irvin, the all-everything from the 1-yard line. Caught up to the Spartans. Cut to the 20 and down at the 24. We got breaking news in New York. Let's send you to John Saunders. John?
Right, time for the Burger King update here. Syracuse and Tennessee. Jeff Hall, 26-yard field goal is good. Phil Fulmer and the squad have the victory. 34-33, second straight year that Syracuse loses on the final play of the game and their home opener. Mark McGuire hit number 60 today. Cards win easily. He'll go for 61 tomorrow. Brent.
Thank you very much. Next week, Syracuse travels to Ann Arbor to take on the Michigan Wolverines, who are playing Notre Dame this afternoon. First and 10 now for the Spartans. First hands off Irvin. Irvin cuts outside, breaks it 30, 35, 40, 45, and across midfield on his first carry of the game to the Ducks' 49-yard line.
Well, what he did is he dipped inside, and Oregon took the bite. Watch the right side of the screen. Dietrich Moore gets smothered. Sherman doesn't keep his leverage on the outside. And then Fletcher on the safety blitz, number 1, came up inside, and there's Irvin with a huge gain on his first carry.
Had a big first half last week against Colorado State, went over 100 yards. Now he's put 28 yards on the board to start this one. First down and 10. Motion man, Scott for the Spartans. Burton, the left-handed throws back. Throwing down at the 41-yard line. Number 56, Smith hit him first. And the Phillies starting lineup with Bill Burke, Cedric Irvin, and Garrett Gould. He's the ISO fullback. And Plaxico Burris, number 4. Could be a great one before he's finished. Jason Strayhorn, only 2 veterans come back. He and Mason. Strayhorn has to call the line blocking calls in the middle of that line. 2nd and 18 after the 8-yard loss on the sack by the Ducks. Here comes Irvin, swinging wide. This time he is down at the 46-yard line. Aaron Chevron out of Arvada, Colorado brings him down. Offense coordinator Gary Tranquil told us yesterday that he has these statistical goals in mind for every game the Spartans play. They want to get that 400 yards of total offense. And then an 80% offensive efficiency in that red zone. Oregon wanted 90%. Here comes 3rd and 15. Shotgun look for Burke and the Spartans. 3 wide out. Inside shovel pass. Irvin breaks the first tackle. Cuts inside. Well short of the first down. Shy of the 45-yard line. Peter Sermon Making his presence felt for the first time, number 44. There was the leading tackler a year ago in the Pac-10. He's a good one. And Craig Jarrett, the young hunter who won this job with 2 booming kicks against Colorado State back in East Lansing a week ago. His first punt of the game. So after a great-looking run on first down, the Spartans are stalled largely because of an 8-yard loss on a sack. And this punt by Jarrett, a little bit too good into the end zone. It'll come out on the 20. So Oregon scores a field goal on its first drive, and the Spartans have to punt.
Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Yeah, where we need ya. Yeah, where we need ya. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
If you ask us, it just tastes better.
Come on, guys. Come on. We put the product design right in front of the kids to see what they think. We'll click on that guy right up there.
Linda, we need help.
Kids are great with computers because they'll tell you exactly what they think. That's great. The other thing you want to do is be able to collect these cards along the way. Computers are great for kids because they have infinite patience.
I want to do it.
That's a good thing.
The other day, Karen had to hurry to a surprise birthday party.
Honey, the doctor's on her way. Almost there.
So Karen didn't need any surprises from her car.
Just breathe easy.
Breathe easy.
Ford Taurus has millions of real-life miles behind it and a reliable Door-Tech engine in it.
The doctor's here.
I hear someone's in a hurry.
And I know 2 people. Make that 3 people. We're sure glad that she bought this car. Ford Taurus. Built to last.
ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. She's a proud sponsor of ABC College Football and Brewery Fresh Budweiser. Remind you, fresh beer tastes better. Nice to have you along with us from Eugene, Oregon. Happy birthday to our director, Drew Esikoff, giving you these beautiful pictures, and a welcome back to our producer, Bob Goodrich. Nice to have him down in the truck. 1st and 10 now for the Ducks. And Smith is back play fake, thrown to running back, going deep. Got one-on-one, wants center, got him! Damon Griffin! 49 yards to number 5, and I've got to tell you in that commercial, my partner Dan Fouts just told Bob Goodrich of the truck that to isolate on Griffin, he could be the man, and indeed he was. Well, he missed all last year with the bad thumb. He was second-team All-Pac-10 a couple of years back, and he is going to fill the void left by Pat Johnson. The Ducks threaten immediately. On first down, fake swing, cut off, Robert hunt for Smith, and he completes it anyhow. Beautiful work by Smith to get the ball into Haynes' hands, but we do have a penalty flag. Down on the play, the big fella, Robert Smith was in pursuit. Oregon may have offensive linemen downfield on this play, but that was an illustration of the strength and agility and mobility of Achilles Smith as he gets away from Robert.
Oregon really is efficient at running the screen pass.
Coming back. You are exactly right, Dan.
Oregon will run 8 to 10 different types of screens. That was going to be one. And when Robert put the pressure on Achilles, the offensive linemen were caught downfield.
There's a man who can win those regular season non-conference games. They've done a great job here as he replaced Rich Brooks, who moved to the NFL. He was his coordinator on the team that went down to the Rose Bowl, lost to Penn State. But Oregon's program has been on the rise ever since those days. And now after the penalty, 1st and 15, and Brown slides to the hole, slashes to the outside. Battles for the first down. Tough looking run by the young man from Anaheim, California.
who came here from Merced College. And he led the all-junior colleges in the nation last year in rushing. This is great offense. So 4 wide receivers in the game, and the Ducks come with a little trap right up the middle. Now watch the receiver on the outside block. That's number 5, Griffin. And that gave Drones the chance to get the first down.
Coaching replaces Drones as they shuttle the running backs in and out, and now it is first down just outside the red zone. Smith with time, wide open, got it back into Griffin's hands. His second catch of the day, and he is pounded by Sorey Canoe at the 15.
And people in the Pac-10 say this is nothing new. This has been happening for years. The passing game, the edge the Pac-10 has always given the Big Ten problems. Now Oregon has 3-4 wide receivers in the game at times, and a couple running backs that can catch the ball in the backfield. A lot of pressure on this Michigan State defense.
I've seen them in Rose Bowls because of just what you say. The Big Ten went out and could not handle all of the wideouts. So Drones checks back in. He's the one back, number 22. Here he is now on second down and 4 for the Ducks.
And Drones looks hold, cuts back, very patient, good-looking run for a first down. That's a big-time run right there. Well, let me remind you that Sports Night is a primetime show coming your way on the network on Tuesday night. And that will start September 22nd on ABC. Sports Night, Tuesdays this fall on the network. Oregon on the drive, up by a field goal. They're at the 8-yard line, so it is a first and goal. Drone stays on the field. Griffin, Haynes, and Hartley are the 3 wideouts, so they continue to spread the field, even going in from inside the 10 with Achilles Smith. Big, good-looking quarterback. Gonna swing one. Here comes Drones, looking daylight. Drones crashes. Drones to the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon. He would not be denied.
And Brennan with another screen pass for Oregon. Mike Bellotti and his offensive staff, they are as good as any team in the entire country at running screen passes. They especially like them in the red zone because you get so much man-to-man coverage down here. And the key was great blocking on the outside by the wide receiver. Offense very much in sync for a first game. Here's Villegas with Bidwell the holder. Attempting to give the Ducks a 10-point cushion in the early going. He does just that. Now take a look. He's 6 feet, 210 pounds. JC transfer, rushed for 1,611 yards a year ago. Took this one on that screen and muscled in for the score. Timeout.
It's been a tradition since 1876. Think about that. That's more than 120 years ago that this company started making Budweiser under Adolphus Busch. The family has always put in the forefront, protect the excellence of the product Budweiser. And I think he would be very happy that the generations of his family have practiced what he taught us.
Head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Oh yeah, here and God are gonna make it. Born to be wild, born to be wild.
Steve's band had its first big break last night, so they packed up the new 4-door Ford Ranger and headed out of town.
It can't be right. Trust me, it's gonna be great.
Only to find when they hit the stage, something was a little out of place. Them.
It seems the only thing tougher than Steve's Ranger was last night's crowd. Ford Ranger, built Ford tough.
5:53 remaining in the first quarter. The Ducks have scored on their 2 possessions, leaded by 10. This kickoff going to sail out of bounds, and there's a penalty. You know, before the game, Mike Bellotti allowed us inside the locker room, and Ruben Drones took charge. But if you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk, baby. And here he comes, Dan.
And he gets a real fine block by his wide receiver, Tony Hartley, number 10 right there. That gave him the crease, but again, the desire to dive across the end zone. That's pretty unusual for a young man to take it over there in the locker room before the ball game. He's never even played in a Division I ball game. He's acting like a 3-year veteran. Playing like one, too.
He sure is that. Now the Spartans with their backs to the wall. Remember, they led last week 16-0 and let it get away against Colorado State. Here they're down by 10. Burke's going to throw on first down. Out to the left side into the hands of Scott for a first down. He stepped out for an 11-yard gain at the 46-yard line. That is Bowman. Now, Bowman's an interesting story. That corner over there, number 17, is only 5'8". And you would expect the taller Scott and Burris to go to work against him before the day's over, Dan.
Scott goes 6'1", but it's Burris who goes 6'6". That will really challenge Bowman and the entire secondary. They want to throw the ball more. They want to get the ball down the field to these tall receivers.
Here comes Irvin, picking his way to midfield.